If Lands Could Kill, featuring Knifecity, Ryke, Samhain Crow, and Hot Sauce.
And welcome to another episode of If Lands Could Kill. I'm Knifecity.
This is Gooey Duck. I mean, Ryke.
Samhain Crow.
Sea Cucumber. Hot Sauce.
Peppermint Swirl.
What, dude?
We got
Ryke's back. We don't need you.
I'll leave.
Now the table feels like lopsided
I'll
now.
take my pre-built deck and leave.
He's gone for a week and forgets the rotation when we say our names.
Yeah. All right, well, fucking A, what have you gooey ducks been up to lately?
Upskirt shots in Japan.
Yep.
It happens.
Oh, goodness gracious. I'll just start with my nothing week. Nothing happened. That's what happened. But I can say that I picked up a couple games. I picked up Evolve, because we've been talking about it. Mm-hmm. So myself and Mr. Samhain Crow picked up Evolve. And also on Xbox right now, on Xbox 360 or Xbox One, they have like this super discounted mega sale. And it's actually pretty fucking good prices down there. So I went and bought... What do they have?
Telltale Games package?
They have there. So they have a Telltale. It's 5 seasons. So it's 2 of The Walking Dead, 1 of Game of Thrones, 1 of Borderlands, and 1 of The Wolf Among Us. And all of that is for like $55. Mm-hmm.
So it's like $140 or something like that.
I think on Steam you can pretty much find that price like pretty regularly because they have a lot of sales. But if you're like me, I don't want to sit on the computer. I want to sit on the couch with a big screen. So that's the problem with like Steam games is that like I get something, and if the game's going to take 20 hours to beat, I'm not going to beat it. If it's like a 6-hour game, that's fine. But like I don't want to sit in my office playing fucking Steam games forever. I would love to have like a Steam box or computer, desktop, whatever that goes in the living room. It'd be sick, but I do not, and it's fucking pricey, so I'm not doing that either.
Those games are like the best on a tablet. The Telltale games.
Yeah.
It's like the best tablet game ever.
Yeah, just a touch and just like go for it. Yeah.
I played it on the computer, and same thing. I don't want to sit on the computer for an hour and a half, playing through this episode. I want to lay down in bed and like do it.
Luckily for like me, I'm gonna get it. The Telltale. I didn't buy it yet, but I know it's still on sale. So that thing. But it might be up by the time this podcast comes out. To be honest, but Kelly and my roommate Raheem, we'll all sit on the couch and watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the Game of Thrones when we all sat, and then I just ask everybody, what decision we make, and then everyone goes that way.
Did you check it today, actually?
No.
Because I think it might be over already. I think it might have been a 1-2 day thing.
Because they just suck balls.
It takes forever to do like the weekly update for.
Well, don't ruin it for me. I should just find that on my own.
Well, I hope
terrible.
it's there. I may be wrong, but they just updated the gold deal where they have a new game every whatever
Gotcha.
sale.
Well,
I don't know that I saw it there today. I might have just skipped past
on
it
Steam?
though. So.
What on Xbox?
On Xbox.
Oh, okay.
And then so I picked up. They have Alien Isolation for $24 on the One and $20 on 360. Really wanted to pick that up. And then how you guys like you throw back to when you're like a kid, like you play kids games, like Zelda. It's like it's a kids game, even though it's like not. It's for adults kind of too, but not really. It's like a kids game. There's a lot of these kind of games like Spyro and all this shit that we remember that
sick game.
has sweet or Banjo Kazooie has like sweet ass gameplay, but it's a kids game. Oh, yeah. And so there's a new game that I bought like a couple years ago. This is the second version of it. It's called Costume Quest. You guys ever heard of this?
No.
It's a kids game.
No.
But I bought it a couple years ago because it was like $3, and the second one's out and it was $5. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. So it's like. Well, I mean, kids game, I mean, like straight up, like it is. If you're over like 12 years old, you're gonna be bored with this game. But for some reason, I really like it. It's like it has the same.
Because you're into 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
now that's your new predator prey.
Exactly.
Kind of deal.
Know thy prey.
Yeah, you gotta
understand them.
Yeah, gotta know your opponent. So this game is like it's Halloween time, and you're like 2 kids in a costume. It's usually more kids or whatever that you can have. And however many kids you have with you, then like when you go to battle, it'll be like Pokemon RPG, like turn-based strategy type thing. Same thing where there's like 4 people on one side, 4 people on the other side, and so the 4 enemies and the 4 protagonists or whatever. And you go and you click on each thing, and you have to like have a time event for each one to do more damage or whatever. And you kill the baddies, and you move on to the next one. It's exactly the same thing where like. You just walk around and you're like, when you knock on someone's door for candy, and it could be a bad guy or could not be a bad guy, just like
candy apples with razor blades.
Total kids game, but it's like Pokemon, the same thing. Pokemon is a kids game.
I just hear Misfits Halloween going off in my head right now.
And razor blades.
Yeah. So then you knock on it, you go for this battle sequence, and you go on, and it's like that. It's like totally stupid. But I enjoyed
I'm
the first
kind
one
of
a whole
worried
lot.
about hot sauce.
Exactly.
He has a lot of time right now.
Yeah, what I love about this is a pretext. What I was going to say on my intro part was I've been at home watching a lot of different TV shows and on Netflix, and right now I've been having a kick watching Law and Order SVU. And every time there's a kiddie porn kind of episode, I think of you, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Just
Perfect.
throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Like, this is your kind of deal.
Yeah, so I didn't like the SVU. Like, it just always like bummed me out. Like, real fucked up shit happens.
Well,
Now-
it's just because Ice-T's in it.
Yeah, and he has those horrible
That's not
one-liners.
entertaining.
Well, after all, it's fuck the cops, kill the cops songs, and then he's a cop in a show. It's pretty
Yeah,
funny.
he went the Ice Cube route, but anyways, so my girlfriend really likes it, and so like I started begrudgingly like watching it with her, and so now like I'm just desensitized to all like the horrible shit on there. I'm like, he only killed her? There's no semen in her ear?
I'm so bored with this.
Yeah, God, open and closed case.
This
Jeez.
is like the South Park for murder porn.
Yeah.
Now my murder porn.
So yeah, I kind of like that show now, but
Really?
it's
Oh,
still
man.
sad.
All those shows, I mean, like Criminal Minds, another one that the girls watching all the time, and I'm, it's like something, but really.
I like the first couple seasons
It's
of Criminal
because-
Minds, but as soon as Mandy Patinkin left, I didn't watch it anymore.
I don't even know who that is, but
He's
a dude.
He's in Princess Bride, the Spaniard.
Nope, no idea.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah,
He's great.
It's a movie, right?
the guy from Homeland.
Yeah, I don't watch
Princess
movies.
Bride's one of the best movies.
Antonio
of all time.
Montoya?
I don't care. Yeah, Antonio.
You have bested my
Inigo
giant.
Montoya.
Inigo Montoya.
Inigo
You have killed my
killed my
father.
father. Prepare to die.
Nice.
That's a good movie.
Wouldn't know.
Andre the Giant, dude.
Oh,
Been
yeah.
rhyming, I mean it.
I'll let you borrow the movie.
Wanna
It's fine.
mean it? Yeah, that's a great movie.
I'll totally watch it.
Andre the Giant has some public bathroom stories.
All right. We'll never know he's dead.
Am I right? Had some public
Log in the toilet. Wait, how old was he when he died? He's like 35 or something like that?
Yeah, not very
Yeah, but in
old. He's
giant years,
very
that's like
enlarged.
seven.
Yeah, it really is. It
Like
really
90
is.
years old.
So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Anyways, so kids games, just because I don't know why, it was just really enjoyable. Like, sit down, don't think, just like fucking play a game, and it's like stupid and silly. It's made by Double Fine, which Double Fine made like the Jack Black like metal.
Yeah,
what's
that
one?
game.
What's that called?
Brutal Legends.
Brutal Legends. That game was badass. They made like Psychonauts. They made Stacked. I don't know if you know what that is.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they only do like $15 titles pretty much.
Yeah, they had a Kickstarter recently for a game. I can't think of the name of it.
What is it called? Banner Saga?
Yeah,
Banner Saga, I think is what it's called. It's one of those things. They're good at storytelling. There's a lot of games either have like a lot of dialogue or a lot of text or a lot of something. There's like a lot of characters, and each person in the environment you can always talk to. Like no matter what game it is, you can like show up to any random person and they'll have some little thing to add to the story. So I'm like a sucker for their shit too, because whatever they make is like fucking awesome. So
Very
they made
cool.
like Grim Fandango.
Yeah.
They made like all kinds
Yeah,
of
that's
cool
good
games.
Don't buy Alien Isolation because I got it for Christmas. I haven't played it yet.
Oh,
but,
for the Xbox
yeah,
One?
No reason to buy it. I'll let you
Good.
borrow
All
it.
right, cool.
Yeah.
I really want to play it. So.
Yeah, it looked interesting enough, and my mom bought it for me for Christmas on the Black Friday sale, so I got it for she got it for like $15-20.
Nice.
So
Nice.
what the price of it is now, pretty much.
So the game is interesting, I heard, which is something that people can be like turned off on or turned on by, is that there's only one enemy in the whole game. It's just that one xenomorph. And that's
Really?
it.
Turns
it's not
me
like,
on.
It's not like one of those other ones where other games that they have
The
where they're just all
swarming aliens,
swarming
yeah,
and
because
it's like
all the alien games previously have always been horrible.
yeah, I guess
shit.
like it can't die. You just have to like get through when it pops up.
Well, this game's
and then
set
it runs
on
away and
the what is it? The fucking the Nostromo or whatever it is, and the first Alien
yeah,
movie.
it's just
right.
the Sigourney
Yeah.
Weavers you actually
Yeah,
playing,
you're
I believe.
playing
So
Sigourney.
that's probably
And it follows like the movie.
daughter.
Is that what it
You're
is?
playing the daughter. It's like 10 years after or something like that.
Okay.
And you go on like a mission to go over there and see like what the fuck happened because it's still like empty. And so you go there and then
Yeah, I heard this game's really cool if you really like the first original Alien movie because a lot of the stuff is identical to
Dude,
the
it is
actual movie.
beautiful too. I've watched like a lot of Twitch things on it, and like the environments are fucking beautiful. Absolutely, even though they're like simple because it's just inside of a spaceship, so they can't be too detailed. But every like little wall and every little crevice just looks like perfect. So, and then of course the xenomorph looks fucking sweet too.
Yeah.
So
Everybody loves the Xenomorph.
the xenomorph's awesome. But yeah, it's pretty much been games. I've been watching like a lot of Twitch, just every kind of game I'm interested in, and then of course I watched like the SCG this weekend, which we'll talk about later. And I don't know, toilet seat still cracked. Still have no job. Fucking people, the bank is still not giving me a word about if I got the house or got the loan or not because it's taking for fucking ever. So I have to keep calling up every like 3 days and be like, what's going on, guys? Oh, we have a couple questions for you. It's like, oh my god. You could have asked me the first day.
So if I called 2 days ago,
Yeah.
we would have
It's
been 2 days ahead.
It is exactly like that. Oh, okay, let me pull up your account and oh yeah, what about this thing? I'm like, God, can you guys just be proactive?
Oh, we forgot to ask what your favorite color was. That's a security
delay.
question.
That's
It totally
a
is.
week delay. I'm sorry.
It's so like that. Fucking idiots. All right, we're finally going to send it off. Oh, no, we couldn't send it because this thing. You should have fucking called me so I could have got that taken care of. God damn it. That's what's happening. I mean, someone else take it away.
You've been like the mom sitting by the phone waiting for the son that never calls. And then you call and just give him shit about not calling.
Oh, Mom, I was just about to call you.
This is why I don't like talking to you, Mom, because every time I talk to you, just give me shit, okay? You understand why you're the problem, Cliff.
Yeah. Now I know why Dad left.
Oh. Plus, she was way younger.
Yeah, of course.
The new mom was
Yeah.
way younger, so.
So my week's been good. So my water heater fucking went out.
That
on
doesn't
me.
sound like a good week. I'm
No,
just saying
no,
to
no.
start off on.
So it's great, cold
So I
showers.
just finished patching the hole in the roof. Great.
So the pilot light went out, and I tried to start it up again. It wouldn't even fire off, and so I
You got a wrench and just started hitting the side.
yeah.
Why no work?
Turns out I didn't pay my gas bill.
Turns out that wasn't my house.
You just spawns this shit and start punching it. Yeah, it'll work.
So called the plumber out, and he's like, "Oh, you need a something, and $130 later, thermocouple.
Thermocouple.
No, it needs the whole ignition assembly thing. So yeah, he's hopefully gonna come by tomorrow with all the shit.
Ooh, week of cold showers, huh?
Yeah, it's great.
For real.
Right in the shower outside, dude. Just hose yourself down.
Suddenly you're into this detrimental story.
Dude, I hate not having fucking hot water for a shower, or at least warm water for a shower.
So
That's
I've
shit.
never had that.
I've had a hot water heater break, and I had to just take a shower. I'm like, this is garbage.
Even when I go camping, I have hot water. I'm not lying.
So
boil that shit.
this was maybe 8 years ago, something like that, and our water heater went out, and yeah, it took a good long fucking time to get I want to say almost a month to get it fucking
God
fixed.
damn it.
That's
Luckily, it was
torture.
summer, so I didn't really give a
But
shit.
still, water that's pumped to your house is chilled before it gets to your house.
Yeah.
So it's not like if it's hot outside, the water temperature is different. The water temperature,
It's coming out 65.
it always
That's
exactly. It always
what
comes
it
out the
is.
same temperature no matter what it is outside.
So my current technique, because by the way, I just yell the entire shower. I'm just like, Elena's like, my girlfriend's like, I'm on the phone. I'm like, I'm taking a shower. I gotta scream.
Look at my balls right now. Look how tiny they are.
That's
hurtling real
That's not even a joke.
Sun-kissed raisins in here.
So my new strategy is I'm just naked, standing in the bathroom, get soap, get a little wet, and then just soap myself outside of the shower. So I'm just sitting there, and when you don't have enough water with the soap, it gets real pasty and thick. So I'm just I look like a fucking hairy snowman, just standing.
Spaghetti, bro.
Rubbing your nips.
Yeah.
Face playing yourself.
No, the great thing on the outside. The great thing was my girlfriend was in the other room while I had this bright idea, and so she comes in. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "No. See, this works out because I don't have to be cold as long, And then I just hop in the shower straight, just for 2 minutes, just screaming, oh yeah. And then I hop
brisk, baby.
And then I hop in the shower.
Yeah, that's brisk, baby.
And after I clean up, I hop in the shower. And
As I said, the paste forms.
so that's been interesting to say the least. And then I work with the whoopsie guy of the cast. Isn't that what he does in Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Yeah, Raheem, who always shows up here and there.
Makes sense.
So I work with him, and we were working today, and he was doing a price check on an item for a customer. And
Vagisil.
yeah. A little itchy, huh?
Vagisil.
Could you hurry, please? We need that now.
And so he's on the computer checking away, and I'm just bored as fuck, just nothing to do, so I'm just fucking off. And so the item is, what was it? Old Grandpa's Pine Tar Soap. That was the item.
That's a brand name,
Old
huh?
Grandpa's Pine
Manly
Tar
shit.
Pine Tar Soap.
That has some musk on it.
And we're like, what the fuck is this? And we just start like riffing on it, like right there at the computer, which is like right in front of everybody. And just saying shit like, I never feel as clean when I use Old Grandpa's Pine Tar Soap. There's nothing like a good pine tarring, and just like saying all this shit, and we're just like laughing like a bunch of fucking idiots. And all of a sudden I stop, and I'm like, the customer's not right behind me, are they? And then sure enough, he looks over. Yeah, the customer's right behind us. She does not think anything is funny. We are just...
It's a lady getting Old Grandpa's Pine Tar Soap.
She is just not delighted that we were making fun of her purchase.
You're just stupid soap lady.
So he just goes and hands it to her. Hands it to her. Yeah. And she's like, thanks. And I just walk away because
you're gonna die laughing.
That's the story of my life right there. Is like just making fun of somebody and they're right there, or just saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
A guy in a blue suit.
Yeah.
Right behind there.
And that's kind of what I was doing. I was making the Family Guy reference, but it just so happened that it was fucking true. So
you guys have some serious moments at your office. Ree was telling me a story last night about another instance that you can't make it up.
Oh my God! Please come over here, Raheem.
Come in here.
Come in
here. You gotta tell this story.
Sit down, Papa's lap.
Yeah. So I'm working with this girl.
Come on, it's louder.
And we're standing on either side of the aisle. She's facing away from me, so I'm looking at her back. And this family walks by, and it's a dad and two little girls. Well, the girl in the middle is like 7 or 8 years old. The girl in the back is like 4 or 5. And she's walking by, and she's got her thumb sticking straight up with this big grin on her face, and she's going up and down with the thumb.
Oh, no.
She looks at me, and I smile at her, whatever, and she turns to the girl that I'm working with, and she sticks her thumb right up her ass. and it continues to walk by, and the girl turns around and looks at me like, what the fuck was that? I was like, no, it wasn't me, it was the little girl.
Yeah, you blame the little girl. Next time you can do it again. Like, no, it was the little girl.
That's the plan, actually. Give some pointers. Thank God the girl was still doing when she looked over at the little, when my employee looked over at her. Because otherwise she'd been like, no, fuck you, you're weird, dude.
I kind of liked it, but dude, that's not cool.
Yeah, one of the most awkward
dude,
experiences.
that was like, if that girl hadn't still been doing the thumb thing.
You would have been
Sexual harassment suit.
I swear to God, it was the little girl. I swear to God.
That's like something out of a fucking movie.
No. What if she
No
looked at
writer.
that, she looked at you and your dick was out? No, that wasn't my dick. That was the little girl's hand. I swear to God.
He's doing cock magic.
Oh shit!
Sounds like Hot Sauce's fantasy. Some little girl walking by doing that to him.
All right, that's enough of that. That's enough.
He told you that in confidence.
Yeah, four episodes, enough with the kitty
Hey,
shit.
we told later we talk about buttholes. So.
So anyways, other than that, I haven't been doing too much. Still playing The Evil Within, and no new games. That's my hashtag now, is just no new games. I got enough.
You got enough, same here.
No new games. So,
It's a beautiful thing.
what's up, Ryke? Hola, Ryke.
Hola, senor.
Fresh off the boat. Actually, this last weekend was Valentine's Day weekend, and it was my wife and I actually went to Cabo San Lucas down in Baja California, Mexico, which was fucking awesome, except for the part it was in Mexico. Other than that, it was
I heard the
way
drugs are good down there.
good. Yeah, the cocaine and
They're not stepped on too much.
I heard the mass shootings of Americans is just wonderful this time of year.
Yeah, the cartel do a lovely thing with Americans' heads.
All the kidnappings and
Yeah, but we went down there. We left on Friday. Got down there and fucking culture shock to the max. That was my first time in actual Mexico. Besides TJ, yeah. And then it was just fucking. We got off the plane and you're supposed to when you're walking out of the terminal, I guess you're just supposed to ignore all the motherfuckers there because there's a bunch of dudes just just waiting for you. They're just waiting in a line to intercept you as you're walking out.
Yeah.
to kidnap you and take you to the sex
Literally,
shop.
yeah. Sell you in the sex slave. But no, they're waiting for you to come out and they want to
like kind of grab you and pull you aside to sell you like timeshares or like bring like have you come check out their stuff. And like I didn't know that. That was my first time ever in Mexico like that.
And they're like, yeah, we'll give you a free dinner.
Yeah.
Rim job.
Entice you somehow.
They like spin it any way they can, and but like my wife, like she knew this, but she just didn't tell me. And so, yeah.
I'm gonna go on with those.
Yeah,
So,
so-
hey, I'm gonna make some magazines.
Hey, you go ahead and go to the hotel.
Yeah, so
I'll stay here.
my first experience in Mexico was like getting off the plane and then getting pulled aside by one of these guys, and just this guy's just trying to sell me anything and everything to like get me to go to see something like whatever, or he's like, oh yeah, we'll take you a taxi for like $10 like all the way, but you have to come here. And
Make you pay to go see their shit?
Yeah, it's just. Anyways, these guys were like super pushy, like super like I've never like had someone that pushy trying to sell me anything in my life. I was like, I thought like the Air Force like was supposed to be a safe place. These guys were like complete
Air Force?
The airport. The airport.
That makes a lot more sense. Like,
Aeropuerto.
what the hell is the Air Force doing in
Aeropuerto.
Mexico in an airport?
Yeah, the airport was. I thought it was like supposed to be like a safe
Safe
place.
haven?
Yeah, so I'm already like, oh my god, let's just get the f out of here. So we run out.
This was a huge mistake. Let's go home.
Yeah, I'm like, we don't even know like if our reservations were like 100% because I called a couple nights before from from the U.S. I called to this hotel in Mexico, and like it took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to call internationally to begin with. And then I get a hold of these people. They don't speak English at all.
Shocker.
And I don't. Yeah.
In Mexico,
I know, right?
of all places.
But I'm
It wouldn't be shocking to call an American
They
hotel
should speak American.
and have a phone answer and they can't speak
No,
English.
no, I know how the Mexicans feel when they call like the helplines at Target or something where it's like press 2 for like número 2 for habla español or whatever, and it's because it had that for English, but it was all in Spanish. I just heard English. I heard English. I'm like, oh, that's the one. That's the one. Push that number, whatever that is.
Trace, that's 3, right?
So I get a hold of somebody there just to confirm our reservations because we had no idea if our reservations were actually were there or not.
At the Cartel Inn? Or
Yeah, at the Cartel Inn. And in the background, you just I don't know if it was actually at the hotel or if the connection was just so bad, but it was like some kind of like Mexican used car sales pitch going on in my phone call as I'm trying to hear this "Sí, señor, I don't understand." This soft spoken.
They're trying to get you to the timeshare through the phone.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god! I just heard I heard something the girl say reservation for through Monday or something, or the date that we're staying. I'm like, okay, they must have it then. So we're good. We can fly into Mexico. We'll be safe. So anyway,
They'll be safe. No.
She said Monday. I
not
understood
safe.
Monday. That's fine.
Lunes.
Juanita's got my back when I left.
We got this. So we end up paying an extraordinary amount of money to take a taxi from the airport to our place in San Jose del
the
Cabo.
$10 one and just told cab right afterwards.
Yeah, we would probably never made it to our hotel if we got into a cab.
you're right.
Exactly. You would not have.
I used to work for a telemarketing place, and I just heard horror stories of the people down there are just so fucking pushy.
Yeah, they were
that they will
assholes.
just trap you in there and make you cry and just pit the wives and husbands against one another and feed them drinks and it's just this horrible time while they're on vacation.
Yeah, I was already culture shock and I was already having a panic attack. I'm like, oh, we're not gonna get this fucking hotel. I'm gonna pay whatever this guy wants to get me safely from point A to point B. So I ended up paying $60 to take a taxi.
Spent the rest of the weekend cowering in our hotel room.
It was $60
Like a
to take-
10-minute drive.
Yeah, it was literally a 15-minute drive without traffic to get to our. So
Oh my
$60.
God.
All right, and then
Fucked you.
later on, I figured out that all the taxis have a little sticker on their window that actually give you the prices in pesos that you're actually supposed to pay.
Uh-huh.
That's that's what they're supposed to charge you, but they'll just say whatever
Like
you
in
want,
America.
and you don't. Yeah,
Whatever they can get you to pay.
yeah, exactly.
Mexico, it's all about just haggling.
Yeah, I didn't know that. They know America.
The cops pull you over and you have to have money to give them, otherwise they'll give you a ticket for whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't pay it.
Or put you in jail. No, they'll fucking put you in Mexican jail.
Were you
if
aware
don't
it's a
bribe
crime
them.
to be white?
But anyways, this whole excursion started because we went to a timeshare back in February of 2013 or 2014.
You're
or
in the
something like that.
system, dude. You're
Yeah.
fucked.
So they were gonna fly us out to Cabo, or we were gonna fly out. All we had to do was pay for our tickets, and they were gonna put us up in Cabo at their timeshare. And all we do is sit through a 2-3 hour thing, whatever, and then the rest of the time we'd have for free. Thankfully, or unthankfully for the Mexicans, that the hurricane went through there and fucked everything up.
Yeah.
And so the place that we were supposed to originally stay and do the timeshare wasn't going to be done renovating in time when we flew out. So they ended up putting us at another hotel which the reservations for that hotel ended up getting screwed up, and so they ended up. We already had our tickets, so we already paid like $900 for a round trip flight, and so we had to stay somewhere. So luckily, they were nice enough to upgrade us up to an all-inclusive place outside of Cabo San Lucas, in a place called San Jose del Cabo, which is about 30 minutes outside of downtown Cabo San Lucas. So we pretty much like got the fucking awesome hotel. For Mexican standards, awesome hotel. Whoa! I'll get to that.
That was horribly racist.
I didn't say it this time.
I'll get to why I said that.
Whoa.
In a second.
I didn't say it this time. Fuck.
For what you're getting down there, I mean, it was
Dude,
awesome.
they had a bathroom in your room.
Yeah.
Like, that's
We actually had
the
a
only
bathroom.
place.
But I have a story about the bathroom too. This is gonna take a little while.
Rice and beans.
You guys might want to get something to drink or eat because it's gonna be a minute. But yeah, we ended up getting all inclusive, which was awesome because we could drink as much as we want, eat as much as we want. You know, just
Is it like
party.
the shitty like alcohol?
No, I got fucking. I made buddy with the bartender that was like literally right outside our room. We walked 10 steps and there's a bar right there. And so, like, I walk out the sliding glass door of our room and there's a bar. And I made buddies with the one of the guys there. I can't think of his name for the life of me.
Jose.
Yeah,
it was Jorge or something like that. And but he was giving me all the top shelf tequila I wanted, all the like the Tanqueray, gin if I wanted gin. Like, he just gave me fucking all the top shelf stuff.
The bottle was top
You drink
shelf,
gin?
let me be clear.
Yeah, gin tonics are fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, gin is horrible.
Oh man, only back then it was horrible.
Snoop Dogg was full of shit. That shit sucks.
I like the old people drinks.
You might like old grandpa's fine dark. I suggest it to you, sir.
Let me zest your drink up with that. But yeah, so it was hot down there and humid, so I was pretty much just drinking. As soon as it started cooling off, I was already just drinking beer and pounding it down because it was free. I was like, I'm getting the most out of this free stay. But it was awesome. We went down to some of the downtown parts of the San Jose del Cabo. But the worst part was just we decided for whatever reason not to take the little bus down there, and we just walked for like half an hour to get to this.
God, that's dangerous, dude.
And literally, all the streets smelled like raw sewage.
Yeah.
Well, they are, Ross.
Yeah, it was. I think.
Have you drank the water down there?
Yeah, no,
Do they have sewage down there?
Yeah, I think they were just like dumping into the streets.
Well, that's why if you ever go into a bathroom, you see toilet paper rolled up in the corners and like obviously somebody wiped their ass with it.
They just threw it in the
because
corner.
they're from Mexico and they don't know because down there you can't flush. They literally have like little baskets in the corner. They have to wipe that.
I figured that out
Can't
firsthand.
handle the
So
paper.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
I
don't
figured
have
out that
sewage
plumbing.
thing. Yeah, they have horrible sewage.
But anyways, yeah, we went to this downtown place. It was awesome. Had margaritas. Had the best like fucking enchiladas in my life down there.
I would hope.
Yeah, the Mexican food was really good. They didn't have fish tacos anywhere. We went to like 6 different restaurants, and they're like,
Yeah, from
There
right
was
here.
not a single Rubio's.
yeah, I'm like, what is this?
found.
This is supposed to be Mexico. I
Very
thought-
upset.
I thought you had like fish tacos and
No,
like
it's Mexico. It's
burritos.
It's not Mexico.
Now, from everything I heard, that's an American thing. They just, the Rubio's fat and the fish taco, that's really up here.
Yeah, my wife wanted fish tacos, so we literally like went to 6 different restaurants. And the one restaurant's like, "Oh no, we don't have fish tacos, but we can try to make fish tacos for you if that's what you want." We're like, "No, fuck it, fuck it."
This gringo
They give you a
wants
10-pound
fish in
grouper on a
taco.
fucking tortilla or something.
Yeah, so like, we don't want any of that. But that was
Try and
awesome.
make fish tacos. There's no try. There's only do or do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went
You don't
to
understand the concept. But pescado?
If you got a fish and a tortilla, you're done, or you didn't do it.
and we ended up going Sunday down to actual Cabo San Lucas, which was awesome. It was total party town for sure, because like on the beach, just college kids, like fucking everywhere, just drinking. The sights were great on the beach.
What are you saying there?
Very good sights, and we ended up taking
He means his wife.
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
of
my
course.
wife. Great sights. Great sights. We ended up taking this glass bottom tour boat out into the fucking ocean to see this rock formation they call the Arch, which is like on the very tip of the peninsula, the Baja California Peninsula. There's a rock formation that is supposedly like cool to check out. So we're like, okay, we'll pay the $10 to take the boat tour. And this was like the worst idea. I'm like, no.
Look at that rock.
I just love nice face the whole time, just shaking his hand. This awkward grin, like this isn't gonna go well.
I'm so immature that when he said the tip of the peninsula, me and Peppermint Swirl looked at each other and we're like, no, just let it go.
Tip of the peninsula going into the arch of the rocks.
We're adults, okay? We don't have to laugh at everything.
The tip was really penetrating the arch. When you said glass bottom boat, I almost lost it. That's also a thing. In case if you guys need to pull up Urban Dictionary,
Swirl, glass bottom boat.
glass bottom boat is a thing.
Is that a real thing? Oh
It
god.
involves the saran wrap we previously. Almost the same situation.
Oh man. Oh god. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's why he's here for Urban Dictionary
Back to your
knowledge.
lovely Valentine's holiday.
Did you do a glass bottom boat?
Oh yeah, we definitely found some saran wrap and
Please
glass
continue.
bottom that shit up.
For 2 minutes,
Oh.
let's not act like idiots. God damn
That's
it.
not possible.
Oh shit! But so we end up taking this boat ride. We buy the tickets up like on the street, not even on the beach. And I'm thinking like, okay, well let's get on this boat like from a pier somewhere, right? No, they fucking just drive this big pontoon thing right up into the beach, and it's like you had to like we weren't in we didn't expect to go in the water there or anything like that. So I was just dressed like I was like in shorts and my wife was in capris or whatever. And so we're like, no, you got to get in the fucking water to get in this boat. And so I'm trying to throw my wife up into this boat as it's coming in and out of the shore or like on the beach because the waves are taking it in and out and like people are trying to like grab it to hold it. Yeah, the waves are just pounding that boat.
Going in and out.
Let's just start over. Let's start the cast over. That's what it's come to.
Restart. But anyways, we end up getting the boat, do the tour, whatever. And then so we're coming back and we're like kind of in the middle of the ocean there. And my wife's not a very good swimmer. And they're like, oh, we got to switch drivers. We're like, wait, what? Yeah, the guy doesn't speak very good English. So he's like, no, we switched drivers. And because it was me and my wife and then this other Spanish family were there.
And you're afraid of open water, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the open water.
Sharks are
Sharks
swarming,
and shit.
right?
Yeah, so like, no, we just got to switch drivers. It's fine. And so this other little boat pulls up next to us, and they're like, okay, now you guys get off. Like, go to the other boat. We're like, what? I thought you said you were just going to move the boat. And so these guys are
That
like,
guy just goes out 300 yards and goes back to the shore.
yeah, so we're like,
Swim to that boat, sir.
we're like, what the
In
fuck?
case you didn't know, you're being abducted.
So like, oh shit, okay, he wants us to go now. So we're like, they're holding this boat like with their arms like around the pole, like the pole, trying to hold these two boats together while we're trying to climb our asses like Pirate of the Caribbean style, like boarding another boat.
Swing from boat.
It was just like, oh my god. Of course, as soon as the guy sit down, the guy's like, yeah, like Pirates of the Caribbean, right? I'm like, yeah, just get us to the shore.
No jokes. Just shut the fuck
Oh,
up.
like, just get us to the shore.
Show me this stupid ass coral.
I don't want to do
He in his
that.
head was like, I work for
no,
a joke
he didn't.
of a company.
It's not
God.
It was like rocks. Rocks in the water. It was really cool. It was the one thing my wife wanted to do over in Cabo San Lucas, so we did it. And of course, we went to Cabo Wabo, which was not what I expected. It was really small and just kind of okay.
It's okay. Cabo was okay.
But yeah, that was pretty much it.
You go to Senior Frogs?
No, we didn't. The Senior Frog was pretty cool. But there's a lot of cool places down there. I mean, everyone we kind of talked to, except for the people that try to sell you stuff, were actually really cool. Like, really nice people. But the bathroom in our hotel, so there's the toilets on one side of the room, and then there's a stand-up shower on the other side, and it has the glass door, like, like swings out. Right. Which is like already terrible design because it gets water everywhere.
Right.
And they had like a 3-inch gap in between like the actual glass of the shower and the door. So it's just, water just going everywhere when you're showering. So it's like no one thought this through. But they were kind enough to put a shower, like an actual drain in the center of the bathroom floor between the shower and the toilet.
Because they knew.
Because they knew it was just gonna,
like, man, we fucked up.
And, yeah, the first night I get there, I go to the bathroom, take a huge shit, right?
Yeah, of course.
Right, of course.
Flush,
Thanks for clearing that out.
Well, it is Mexican.
It is Mexico. And so I'm like standing there, I flush the toilet, right? And I feel something. I'm wearing flip flops. And I feel
Oh,
like
God.
something.
Oh, no!
So I flush the toilet in my flip flops, and I feel something splash up on my legs and my feet. And I look up at the ceiling. I'm like, oh, is it leaking somewhere? I'm like, what the hell? Like, did I just like the shower turn on or something? And I look down, and there's water all over the floor. I'm like, where the fuck does water come from? And so I flush the toilet again, and that drain in the center of the.
How did you not see that coming,
And the drain in the center of the bathroom is spurting toilet water. So
you got shit on your legs.
every time you flush the toilet, it spurts out water in the center of the bathroom.
And I don't know why, but ever since my feet itch a lot.
Oh, I don't know where I got this athlete's foot, but it burns.
So the drain goes from the toilet just right to that fucking same basin, just somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right into the
So I was
fucking
like,
ocean.
my wife saw it. I was like, only thing I said, like, well, I got a shower. I'm like, I think it's just Mexican plumbing. I think that's how they do it here.
I picture you saying that your voice is all like, I don't know what to do.
And story.
In my head right now, I picture Randy Quaid from Christmas Vacation out there pumping the shit out of the RV. My shitter's full. Came up through the floor. Time to pump it.
But yeah, I highly suggest going somewhere else.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, there's a reason I won't ever go. I went in there once on a fucking cruise, and
Yeah,
when I went, it was fine, all that shit, but just knowing all the different horror stories, I mean, my wife used to work at this place, and it was like it's a retirement home kind of thing. Well, the head like, housekeeper, Mexican lady there, her husband was decapitated by the cartel in front of her like 15 years ago.
That's not good.
It's like, holy shit. Like, that's not something that should be going on.
I hear
I don't
Alaska's
need to go to
Yeah. Oh man, the United States is great.
Is that America? That's pretty good.
I hear
That is terrible.
I hear that right here outside this door is nice, so we don't have to go anywhere.
We got magic cards here. We can just play.
Yeah,
I stayed home for Valentine's Day.
that was a great experience. I wouldn't do it again, but it was definitely.
I've been to Mexico more than a few times, and I've had like none of these issues at all. I mean, because besides the pushy people, which you're just like, nope, no, and I just like joke around with it. I'm like, no.
We figured out to tell these people, like when they're trying to sell you stuff, like to do down there. We're like, oh no, it's our last day. We're leaving in a few hours, and then they're like, oh, okay, never mind then.
You know what?
Every person, yeah. And they see you
Nothing
tomorrow,
a
and you're
solid
like,
shot of
got you,
penicillin. You know,
So what have you been up to there, Pep Sweezy?
absolutely nothing. You know, I have a job, so that keeps me busy.
No, and rub it in.
Oh wow, what a guys!
I work for a living,
Working man here.
but no, I'm in school as well. I'm in my last semester, so I'm planning on leaving my current job in the next month or so. So just been on that grind, looking for a solid future employment. You know?
Exciting.
The future is bright.
So yeah,
Water heater's good, you know.
my water heater,
toilet's
dude.
good.
How's your toilet seat doing?
Toilet seat's
How's
good.
that drain in the middle of your bathroom doing?
I took the hottest shower last night. I was like, because it was so hot. It was so,
I wish this was cold water.
I applied the soap in the shower, and it was so much water to soap ratio. Oh, it was so nice. It was so nice.
So my parts water to 1 part soap.
So my you know the adjustment for like the hot water, cold water in your shower, like usually it's like a little thing you turn left and right or whatever else. Anyways, so mine spins 360 degrees, and so like when you go like fully to the left, it's hot. You go fully to the right, it's cold. And if you go like down towards the north or south, and that's going to be like middle of the line. You know what I mean? No matter which, it's up or down or whatever. Well, now it's like fucked up. So that like whatever valving is inside there just does whatever it wants. So every time I go take a shower now, I just have to sit there and just guess. I'm like, all right, let's see, 9 o'clock. Nope. All right, 8 o'clock. Nope. 7 o'clock. Nope. 6 o'clock. Oh, let's get a little warmer. 5 o'clock. Oh, it's cold again. I swear to God, it's completely random. And I have to just keep turning it outside the shower until finally I'm like, oh, it's hot. And then sometimes it'll get stuck on like boiling hot for like 180 degrees. And I'm like, well, if you were just there, then it should be like a little bit away from it. It should be back to normal.
He's got a wrench in the corner of the shower.
A little bit away from it, it's fucking freezing cold.
Yeah. And every time if I turn in it too much, then you'll see a little bit of like dirty black water come out of the wall. It's a little drip.
So now you can picture the drain.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna have a fucking problem here pretty quick.
Is it attached in any way to your toilet?
Man, you should have been a plumber.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
The outlets in this house, though, my God.
Yeah, they're magnificent.
Just
Jinx, you owe me a
plug in,
blowjob.
So yeah, well, that's me. Nothing exciting.
It's pretty exciting.
I'm bored. I was talking with Hot Sauce. I need a game. I'm not in your guys' situation of too many games. I
need a new bike. I
need a new game. But I have 2 games. That's all I play. Kerbal and Destiny. That's my life. But we had a discussion about
How'd you just add more magic into that?
older game. I could, but I don't know anybody that plays.
This is the non-magic part of the podcast.
Yeah.
We don't talk about magic.
Yeah.
Rule one.
Well, I broke it twice.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as they add another mana color to Magic, I'll come. I need an
I heard they're going.
I need
to, actually. I heard they're going to include purple. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they're bringing purple in. That's next Noob's knowledge for you next week.
What would that be?
It's a combination of blue and red.
That's tussin. Pour some tussin on it.
It comes from the plains of Prince. The artist formerly known as Prince.
Exactly.
Purple rain.
So what have you been up to, fuckface? I mean, Samhain Crow.
Why are you so angry, man? By the way, they're not actually bringing in purple, just in case you didn't catch that.
Okay.
But Prince does exist.
That's very true. Well, he's kind of
Before
small.
we
He might
start,
disappear.
though, Crow, Jace was right. I never noticed it. Maybe it's what you're wearing tonight, but you're fat as shit.
Wow.
I mean, you look fantastic.
Wow, I thought we were cool.
I knew Corey was getting a huge fucking kick out of that one.
So you set this up like 2 days
No,
ago?
no,
Like 2 weeks ago.
I was like, you know, Crow's like, he's a slim guy. He's pretty fit. He's like, I don't know.
I'm like, he's pretty heavy. He's not fat.
He's a solid guy.
When I heard how much he weighs, I was like, God, that's heavy as shit.
He told me, I was like, I weigh way more than Crow. He's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I know. You're like a 260, 250?
Yeah, I'm 250. I was like,
you look
he's
the same.
220.
Yeah.
I was like,
Holy
he's
shit.
220. I was like, he's no more than 220. He's like, no.
No.
I did
You
not
don't look
see
it,
that
though.
coming.
You look
No, I know. That's the thing. I mean,
That's the joke. You're not fat, but
He wears it well.
We were doing the joke cast. I'm like, we were talking about that, and I'm like, Colin, you just have to go when you start off. We have to just be like, yeah, Jason's right, man. You're fat as shit. And then I knew fucking knife was like, it was just shit.
I just didn't see it coming at all.
Okay. Enough of that.
All right.
Back on
sport my
track.
whole life, so my legs are all muscle, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like 300, so I mean, maybe
Hey,
more
man,
now.
hey,
I'm bigger
That's
than you,
impressive
so.
to me, because you do not look it.
5'9", 220 over here, all right? It's not too good. Not too good.
I'm 6'3", 300, but yeah, I got a belly going right now, and larger than I've ever been. But I agree, I don't look
No,
horrible.
it's
so.
funny. I don't know why.
That was good. That was good delivery.
That was. Fuck you. Oh shit. Okay.
Crow
my
is
turn?
offended
Yeah.
by nothing. Let's just say that.
You'll get yours.
Look at the little dick on this guy.
What about the little
That
pecker?
would be awesome. Little dick pic on our fucking account of you right there. While you're turtling horribly. Okay.
This is peppermint micro penis.
Okay. Well, on that note, where the fuck was I? I haven't been doing much this week either. On Sunday, my cousin came over to play some Magic throughout the day. Spent a few hours hanging out playing. Try this little like variant way of playing, where just for fun to get rid of mana screwing. You play where you separate your lands and your cards completely separate. So you draw one land and one card every turn. So every turn you add another land to your field. And it's just for fun, just try it out. And it was enjoyable, definitely different, and adds less strategy to it. Definitely is more helpful for larger costed decks, and I was playing a more faster deck, so I mean, I ended up winning, but it's just whatever. It was just kind of fun, just a little variant. Played that a couple times, and for Christmas, my mom bought a electric smoker. My cousin's really into barbecuing and stuff, so he came over and we set that all up and pre-smoked it, so it got the metallic smell out of it and the seasoning to it. So
Yeah, you gotta prime that shit.
yeah, so this weekend he's gonna come over. We're gonna do a Saturday night prime it. Started smoking. He's gonna smoke all night long, so we can have fucking like ribs and pork shoulder and shit the next day for lunch. So it's gonna be delicious. He's real good at barbecuing. I don't know if you guys ever had meat from a smoker and everything, but it's fucking really good.
Yeah,
So-
smoked meat's the bomb.
Yeah, delicious. So it's gonna be fun, worth the time. So we have Jack Daniel's flavored wood chips. They're actually from Jack Daniel's old wood barrels. They like break them down and they sell them as wood
great
chips for
idea.
smokers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and so you open it up, it's like, oh, that's Jack Daniels and wood.
He just starts sucking on the wood chip.
right?
Or maybe that's just me. I don't know.
There's alcohol in this goddamn thing, right?
Suck it out. Suck it right out of this.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Other than that, just been playing Moto and
Oh my lord.
Destiny and getting things on there. It's got another fucking exotic quest, so
Which one?
Voice in the Wilderness. So the first step is going to Venus, or I think Venus, and you have to find a gun in a loot crate.
Oh, okay.
Search around
I heard
for a
it's pretty
while.
easy, yeah.
So I actually took a while to find some loot crates, but actually on my third crate I found the gun. So now I'm back to, I have to wait, today's Thursday, so by tomorrow I'll be able to find Zur, and the next step is to buy, for one strange coin, the next step, like the next hull
You know
of the gun.
what gun is it? What is it?
It's a heavy weapon machine gun, I believe, is the exotic
And it's
weapon.
called
you
what?
get.
You know the gun?
No, I
it's
just
super
started
good.
this
I think
quest
it's super good
yesterday.
advice.
Super
also.
good advice.
But that's the
That
same
sounds
thing
right.
as I had to go there, and like the first chest I opened up was that first thing, and then
Yeah, it's on Mars. You have to open.
Is it Mars? Okay, I was back and forth because that's what it is. I had a bounty for patrolling Venus, and it was right next to that, so I couldn't remember if it was Mars or Venus I had to go to. So yeah, I'm working on that. I gotta get the other ones done. I got another fusion rifle for the other exotic thing, so I'm only 2 away. So if I have one more fusion rifle, legendary or rare, I can get rid of that, and then I have the plug 1 fusion rifle that I'll gladly get rid of because now that I have the Murmur fusion rifle. So
Are you all
Pretty
up
close
on the
to-
DLC? You have the.
oh yeah, I got the season pass when I bought the game pretty
Yeah, I
much.
got
And
it.
everything. So yeah,
Yeah, Raheem and I both got the what's the shotgun called?
Invective.
Invective. It's like it's only holds 4 rounds, but it fires auto rifle style. So it's like doof, 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 and then it's done. But it's good for Crucible matches when you just want to get that kill. You slide on your knees, unload, and then you
Used to
basically
that,
will
aren't you?
win.
Yeah.
And then you start playing some
unload.
Destiny.
Yeah. Unload and then you play.
Exactly. Well, that makes the experience a lot easier when you're like not so stressed out and you know.
I didn't get back into
Really-
Crucible. I've actually barely played Crucible for probably a month and a half.
If anyone out there plays Destiny, you have to get the app for like Android or iOS or whatever. Like they have so many cool features on the app that it'll tell you like all these stats that you can't get from the game, like how many kills you've done, what medals you've got, what
played.
you know, time played. Like it just tells you every little detail of the game so far in every mode. Like if it's Crucible, what Crucible match, if it's Control or it's whatever else. Like there's so much.
Is that
shit
app where you get like your Grimoire score? Like that,
Yeah, you
can read the
actual
Grimoire
Bungie
card.
app.
Yeah, so you can read all that for the story. It's like there's so much shit
I need to get
on
that,
there. It's
man.
really, really cool app. So yeah, I don't know.
So-
Destiny's fun. It's a really good game. Really
So I've been playing that. I mean, I played about an hour of Crucible the other day for the first time in like a month and a half, and
Yeah.
still doing well on that. So that's exciting. But
Yeah.
that's another thing for Destiny for me is like when it comes down to like first-person shooters, like for a couple of years now, being like Call of Duty and things like that. Like I'm mostly about the multiplayer of it. So it's kind of exciting to me that I'm playing so much more of just like the single-player campaign-ish
Right.
control.
You've got a whole
strikes.
other game waiting.
Yeah, and it's like I don't have to worry about Crucible being there. I love playing the Crucible, but it's there.
Dude,
but I
I've-
don't have to just play that. I have all this other patrol
I've
shit. That's
never,
just
I've never played so much multiplayer in my life than Destiny. Like it's so much fun still. And
Yeah.
I've even get like a lot better at it. So like my KD ratio is like now it's very good. Now and now I'm getting most games.
unlike when you were trying to do that bounty and you're having
Yeah,
a hard
it's having
time
a hard
for
time. Now, I'm getting a lot of games like over 2. It's feeling pretty good. I'm getting like top 1 or 2 people in a lot of the matches I play, so that feels good because it took a long time to get there. It's also because I have the Thorn, which is a really good pistol in multiplayer, and then that's maxed out with the power. So it's 3 shots to kill or 2 headshots. So it's like if you just get like 2 headshots are not bad. If you're going 1-on-1 where they're charging you, like okay, maybe you won't get that. You have to go for 3 shots. But if they're like in the distance and you can just like pick them off. You can like come around the corner, shoot them in the head, get back in the corner, come around the corner, shoot them in the head again, they're dead. And then it does damage over time. Like there's a lot of cool things with the Thorn. It's very good multiplayer. So
Does it make you feel bad at all that I haven't played in a month and a half? I played like 4 matches and every single one is in the top 3 for overall from all the players.
no, because I suck at games. So that's
I love a text I got from Sauce last week.
Oh yeah,
Raheem had a .02.
0.06 KD.
0.06
Yeah, he had a
KD.
1 kill and I think like 14 deaths.
That's one of those ones where it's like, it's time to fucking stop playing Crucible right now. and walk
I
away.
told him I'm telling Peppermint Swirl right now. I'm texting him. This is hilarious. Even though he's better than I am in Crucible, but his one match was just he was like, I can't kill anything. He had like 10 assists and 1 kill, and then like that. It was fucking.
I have the rubber bullets.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That's fucking good.
So yeah, Magic time. What do you think, huh?
Yep, I gotta
Yay, magic!
Ryke's out.
go. Yep.
All right.
Seriously, seriously, get out.
No, we're good.
No, he meant because Magic started.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just making sure.
He's got to apply a fresh coat of athlete's foot treatment right
Yeah. this athlete's feet
really
burn.
flaring up.
So, we have had some standard events this past weekend. So it
so funny.
looks like we have. Well, first let's talk about the SCG Standard Open in Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
These colors don't run. I just heard somebody say that the other day. And I was just like, you are a fucking moron.
You never heard that before?
That's where the General Lee was born, right? Texas?
No, I've heard that these colors don't run, but anybody who says it out loud is a fucking moron. Anyways, Magic.
Take it.
So it looks like Devotion to Green took first place at the SCG Open, and
Well, there was fifth place was the similar list or whatever, and watching this guy Robert Burney,
Two first names.
fucking own this tournament. Like no question was this guy not going to get first place. This deck is ridiculously explosive.
What colors?
So it's green, mono green, splashing red for only Crater's Claws.
Those colors don't run.
And yeah, and he also had like 4 Xenagos God of Revels in the sideboard, but everything else was mono green.
so let's take a look at the creatures. For mana ramp, he has
The standards.
Sylvan Caryatid, Voyaging Satyr, Courser of Kruphix, Elvish Mystic.
Pretty much it.
That's pretty much
But
it.
that's still it's 4 of each. So like this thing is meant to ramp into the Pelucranos, Genesis Hydra, and you're trying to get to Ugin also. He has 2 Ugins in the main board.
Right. And 1 Boon Satyr, which I thought was...
I love the Boon Satyr.
I like it. It's just... I wonder exactly...
I love the Boon Satyr tech.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It gets around removal because if you bestow something, then you get that.
Throw it on your Caryatid.
Yeah,
It's a
otherwise-
4/4 defender.
I just
Otherwise-
love that flash bestow.
Yeah, you flash it in
that's a beautiful
to
thing.
get a block. So like if something that's a problem that is 4 toughness or lower, you like flash it in there to block it, and then you get to kill that creature because there's like not a lot of removal in the deck. So this is kind of like a removal if needed, or board wipe, evasion. A lot of good things about it. And then there's 4 Eidolon of Blossoms, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's drawing you cards. And it is 2 devotion.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, but I was like, oh man, it's kind of slow. But I guess if it just draws you that card and you have excess mana anyways, like you're going to be able to play this guy and another card in that turn anyways.
Yeah, I think the cards to get to like a Nykthos are important.
Yeah, I think that's what that is, really.
And also a Genesis Hydra. Because once you get those 2 down and you have decent devotion, then fucking boom, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, or I guess it's only permanents.
Yeah, this deck like ramps like crazy, and you can use all that mana, that 15 mana you produce from Nykthos, untapping Nykthos and Voyaging Satyr and all this shit, to throw it into Pelucranos to like basically wipe your opponent's board. And he has 4 Pelucranoses, so it's totally fine. And then he also has Crater's Claws, which has 4 of those, and those are what I've seen is when he had like the interview or whatever, he said that as long as my opponent is like down to 16 health or less, then it's pretty easy for me to Crater's Claws that entire damage. He'll be able to get 14 mana and then get the 2 bonus for power creature, the ferocious trigger for greater power.
Right.
So it was crazy seeing Crater's Claws like just finish off games. Besides, it's removal for like creatures that get out of hand, but otherwise it's just simply like, oh, you're down to 10 health? That's fine. I'll just go ahead and just hit you for 10 right
And that's
now.
really the only splash red card,
That's
correct?
it. That's it. And
Only
then one
Crater's
Xenagos God of Revels in the sideboard, and that's it. The other standout is Whisperwood Elemental. He has 4 of those in the deck, and those are the ones that generate the 2/2 manifest creatures at the end of each end step. And so it makes 2/2s all day long. It's a 4/4 body, which triggers the Ferocious on Crater's Claws.
Fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But also, besides just being a good value card, I have a 4/4 body pumping out 2/2s. It makes it where if someone goes to board wipe, which is what you're up against for like, a third of all matches or whatever, then you sack Whisperwood and any face-up creature, standard regular creature or whatever, when that thing dies, it has manifest top card of your library. So it makes it where if that thing's out and they have a board wipe, they're still going to be left with like 3 2/2s that could be manifested into something great, and so they're the opponent board wipes and then still just take 6 the next turn or whatever from the 2/2s, and hopefully you can flip them over and all this shit. It's a fucking dick hair of a card for a lot of decks I saw. So, and it's a good. I mean, it's 4 power or 4 toughness, so it is a target for like Stoke the Flames, but it's nice that you still have a 2/2 left over after you get hit by Stoke the Flames or whatever that turn. So the next turn. So it was a deck that was just fucking insane with the Nykthos, man. Nykthos and Ugin, Voyaging Satyr, and then Genesis Hydra for 1 million. So it was crazy.
And it's a deck that hasn't really seen like a lot of top 8 play.
No, it basically needed Ugin and Whisperwood to finish off this very good green ramp deck.
Right. Hey. And that's what a lot of people were speculating when they saw Ugin.
It only fits in the green ramp.
Yeah, well, I mean, the green ramp can get to it probably the fastest, most reliably.
Well, I guess blue-black control has it too, but it does take a long time to get there.
Yeah, it takes blue-black and other decks a lot longer to get there, but they can pump it out pretty quickly.
Yeah. As a green player, I thoroughly enjoy this deck.
Yeah.
I think I will play it.
And there's just kind of
really good.
You've been saying that for a while, though.
Except I can't afford the Ugins or the Whisperwood.
Either would. It does say it's
I have everything else.
It says $240 for the low and $350 for the average. So, and I think a lot of players have a lot of these cards already. Like of course, they're crew fix. People should basically have some of those by now if they have been playing green this past year.
With the Clash pack came out, those are going to be down in price.
So hopefully they'll be down in price. Island of Blossoms is cheap. Pelucranos went back up, but if you have been playing for this past year and a half, whatever, then Pelucranos is something you might have got 1 or 2 of or whatever.
It's like $8 again now, isn't it? Pelucranos?
Fucking dogs. Pisses me off.
It's dog beating time.
Oh, yeah, beat them
I'd like
dogs.
you to meet old grandpa's fine tar soap
On a fucking, what is it, on a string?
in a sock.
I'm so surprised that this meta and standard right now. There's so much variety. Like, yeah, sure, they're the impressive decks still, like the Abzan, mid range or whatever they want to call it. But I mean, there's just so much variety showing up at all these different tournaments. It's really cool to see. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a standard that we've been in where it's this diverse.
So yeah, Ryke was saying it likes the fluctuating of the meta, and I think it's pretty. This is my favorite thing going on right now too. Is every weekend it's a new deck that's doing great and all kinds of cool shit. So I think it's pretty exciting that it's not just the same stale.
Yeah, I'm just really surprised
control
at
or
how they got
whatever it is. It's nonstop changing. So that's pretty fun.
I like this Gruul aggro that's in 3rd/4th. It doesn't give the exact standings, but 4 Hair of the Wilds, 4 Goblin Rabblemasters, 4 Flamewake Phoenixes, 4 Elvish Mystics, 4 Stormbreath Dragons, 3 Ashcloud, 3 Boon Satyr, 2 Shaman of the Great Hunt, and 2 Yasova Dragon Claw. Then it has Lightning Strike, Crater's Claws.
You had me at Gruul.
Okay, I was
That-
gonna say
that
Gruul's-
is just-
Gruul's green-red. That's what I was going to say, right?
That is, yeah, green-red. So that's just a creature-heavy package with sprinkled with burn. So
Which is sweet.
Yeah.
There's some cards that have not seen play yet, and that's really cool. They're doing that.
yeah, I mean this deck screams Ryke, but I think the Goblin Rabblemasters might be a little.
A little out of my
They're
price
down, a little
range.
down in price right
They're
now.
like $15
Yeah.
an hour, so but that's still a little out of my price range.
I love my Rabs. I'm glad I have 4.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it, but I'm not going to. But I want to.
I like them.
Some decks that I've been seeing, and I'm like, that'd be nice.
You have to, if you play red in any kind of deck, you have to have 4 Rabblemasters. It's like, yeah, if you're playing red, you have to play it. There's no way around it.
Yeah, when you get 2 or 3 out there, I won the game. How about that?
Like my 10 Burner Furfros,
Yeah,
I'm dropping
exactly.
2 Rabblemasters.
That was insane.
So there's also in last place it looks like a blue-white control deck.
By last, you mean 8th?
Yes, last in the top 8
Okay.
because we're only talking about top 8.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious if we were actually talking about
The bottom, like
400.
the over
Yeah.
10 guy.
This motherfucker came
guy that had
dead
this
last.
What an idiot! He
Yeah.
played a mill deck at a competition.
Yeah, 60 islands.
This guy brought Yu-Gi-Oh to this tournament.
But he placed. Yeah. 450.
So it looks like running one Resolute Archangel. So that's the one, when it enters the battlefield, you go back up to 20 life. One Pearl Lake Ancient. That's all for creatures. Or it looks like one... Oh, no, that's a land. So Dissolve, Nullify, counter spells. Jace's Ingenuity, Dig Through Time, draw spells. End Hostility, Wipe, Disdainful Stroke, Devouring Light, Divination, Last Breath. So just a whole bunch of card draw and kill spells. Vanishing Light, and it looks like it's just trying to get the Elspeth for the top end, like a game finisher, which is kind of weird because I thought like Elspeth wasn't as great as it once was since Cons came out.
Pretty much.
Or,
She's fallen from grace compared
Definitely
to some
down
of the competition.
in decks and stuff, yeah.
So, I mean, it's an interesting build, and I did face a deck kind of like this on Moto, and it is a total pain in the ass. But let's move on to which one's next?
I was looking at the Jeskai token stuff lately. I mean, I think we've already kind of touched on it, but I mean, I think that the Rabble Master and the Stoke the Flames and the Monastery Mentor and all that stuff, I mean, it's like, it's fast and aggressive and goes wide, and I think it's great, man.
I mean,
I've heard different people talking about how, like, oh yeah, usually Rabble Master in that spot, but now Mentor is going to take that spot. I don't see why you wouldn't play both. I think they're both fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, they both have their advantages and disadvantages, and they're both a lot of good things happening with them.
The deck kind of builds itself sometimes because you just play 4 of each of those, 4 Stoke the Flames, and just sprinkle in your Seeker of the Ways and actually 4 Hurtling Outbursts. You got to play that too, and you sprinkle in all the rest of the stuff, whichever way you want it. If you want to go like the strictly red-white thing, then you can go ahead and play a lot of mountains, and then you can play the 1-mana aura that exiles the creature with the
Chain of the Rocks.
Yeah, Chain of the Rocks. If you want to do that route, I don't want to play a lot of mountains. Okay, well then take those out, and you can maybe start playing Jeskai and play like the Ascendancy. And with raise the alarms and other stuff like that.
Cruises
And you just kind of go, you just like go back and forth and just do what you want with it. But there's already like 16 to 20 cards that you're already going to play, and you just sprinkle in the last 14 cards or whatever, 16 cards or whatever, and then there's your deck, and you're going to be good competitively.
I mean, Jeskai Tokens is seeing a lot of top 8. Recently, I haven't seen it take down a tournament, but it's always in the top 8.
Yeah,
There's always
exactly.
at least one. And so let's go to the PTQ in Japan. I'm not even going to try and butcher the name of that thing.
I love
we're
it. He's
going
doing
to
the racist
Japan.
jokes tonight. It's not even me.
Yeah.
Going to Japan.
So
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Wow.
They were fast as lightning.
So much editing, my finger. I'm gonna have to have like one of those like braces for the finger, because just all the clicking,
It's called a splint.
Idiot.
Once again,
No, that's good. I think that was gonna stay.
It's a longer block to cut out.
yeah. So looks like blue-black control took it down in Japan. Nothing too special here. There's one Ugin at the top end.
You notice that like so many professionals are like, blue-black control is not a viable option. They're like, nah, it's not good. Have you heard people say that at all? Heard that a few times.
Before Fate came out, people were saying like, it's crap, it's just a splash in the pan sort of thing. But no, it's taking down tournaments, and it's seeing like top 8 play, and it's a pain in the fucking ass. So it has one Perilous Vault, one Ashiok, and then just the rest of what you think would be in there. Although
Just the one Ashiok? That's kind of a fun little like singleton, one Ashiok, one Ugin, one Perilous Vault.
well, for like a control deck, you don't want a whole bunch of like win conditions. You only want a
yeah,
couple.
but I mean,
And there's 2 Pearl Lakes in case Ashiok and Ugin don't get you there. What I find interesting is there's 2 Silence the Believers in there.
That's one of those things. So that deck is running like 27 lands or something like that. Something really heavy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, 20! I didn't even notice. 28 lands.
28 lands, and that's because
They need that.
of Ugin and Silence of the Believers, because they want to hold on to Silence of the Believers until they can do it for 7, so they can do 2 creatures with Silence. So I was hearing
at
something
least
about that.
28 lands. My
That's
God.
why there's so many lands in there, is because they want to get the value out of these certain cards. So
I do enjoy the Merc Lurker in the sideboards. The The Merc Lurker.
The Merc Lurker.
Because it's the
The
best
Merc
name in
Lurker.
Magic, that's why.
And it's popping up in all of the blue-black sideboards. I'm even running it in my Sultai Walker's sideboard.
It has lifelink. You can make it have lifelink.
It's
and
pretty much
it's a 2/4 with lifelink.
Pretty much a 2/4 if you control a swamp and then you give something lifelink, which just helps against the aggro decks. Even if you're not gaining life, you're just blocking those 2 toughness or less creatures.
Yeah, and the art
So
sits at a mile
you
above
bring it up
everything else.
against your Rabble Masters and all that stuff. So
the
that,
leeching vagina.
bring it up against Rabble Master and all that stuff. Bring in all of them, and then you have your lifelink defense against their tokens. Tokens have to attack. You're going to block it. You're going to gain 2 life off that, and just keep negating their life gain until you can get, or the damage until you can get to your win conditions.
Exactly. Just
Stall the board.
stalling it out. Durdle. So in second place we have Mardu Control, which is
The hell is that?
What is
Exactly.
Mardu Control?
So they're running 4 Goblin Rabble Masters and 4 Seeker of the Ways. And that's it. That's all the creatures they're running. For instants and sorceries, they have 4 Crackling Dooms, 4 Mardu Charms, 4 Lightning Strike, 3 Read the Bones, 2 Valorous Stance, 2 Murderous Cuts. That's a lot of business.
Yep. 4 Chain to the Rocks.
Mardu Charmer isn't that good.
I like Mardu Charm. It's very versatile. But
Yeah,
although
it's not-
most of the time it's
4
just
of them?
most of the time it's just doing 4 damage to a creature, but the other modes are kind of
2
nice.
2 soldier tokens, right?
Yeah,
First strike is
first
one
strike.
turn.
The turn. I mean,
And then
that's just-
Duress. But 4 Chain to the Rocks, 4 Chandra Pyromaster, 3 Chandra Pyromaster, and 2 Sarkans. So that's pretty fucking good.
Pretty interesting list for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
very
But it made
different.
it what it finish?
Second.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that did all that work. A lot of fucking removal. So it's 4 Seekers and 4 Goblin Rabble Masters, huh? That's it. Wow.
Yeah.
Doing
I
it.
wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing more Stormbreath Dragons coming out.
I think
now
so
that
too,
there's
man.
a lot of people using a lot more white removal. Or with a Valor Stance is a fucking awesome white
And then
removal
Chain to the
card.
Rocks
Chain
too.
to the
Like
Rocks is
Chain to the
coming
Rocks
back.
wasn't seeing much play, and then all of a
it's
sudden
back non-stop.
back.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's kind of like this sets Path to Exile in that sense, really. I mean, you got to have something else with it, but I mean, for what standard is now compared to that
I kind of agree with you. Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy.
So it has 2 fucking Kolagon Storm's Furies in the sideboard. I'm guessing against. So it's against board wipes, basically.
Well, it's against other control.
Yeah, other control, board wipes, whatever. But
Yeah,
it's
sorcery.
just weird to see these dragons, these legendary dragons that came out of Fate. It's weird to see them getting somewhat played.
Yeah.
I mean, besides Solomgar and the blue black decks, I think that's pretty solid in some of those. I mean, really, I think that the next best one on that same level it would be the black red dragon.
Yeah.
Because that dash effect. I mean, yeah, it has the least flavor text to it, but the fact that he can just jump in there out of nowhere and hit you for that 5 damage, I think that thing's not a bad card.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
Yeah, I've seen a few tabletop strategies that are going around counters, like the green white counter outlast, whatever stuff that plays the 1-mana enchantment that doubles or adds 1 more counter whenever you add a counter and all that stuff. And they play that dragon that whenever it attacks you bolster 2, and it seems fun to put counters on a million things.
Hardened
and all that
scales,
stuff.
which you're
Hardened
looking
scales,
for.
yeah. And so I've seen a few decks like that when you read them you're like, oh man, that's actually this seems pretty fun, but it's never going to win a tournament.
Yeah.
But those are pretty cool dragons. I like them. The fucking uncommon ones are kind of lame. I mean, limited of course.
Yeah, but they're
still,
not playable
they're not
besides
playable.
limited.
I feel like they have a slightly different tech or metagame over in Japan. Just what I've noticed with previous standards. And remember the mono black was running the the fucking thing whenever you play black spell or play a land. You gain 1 life.
Oh, that artifact?
Yeah, so they were
They
playing
have that in every color, right?
Yeah, they were playing that, one of the winning decks during that standard season.
With
They
the
were-
staff?
Yeah, the
Staff
staff.
of Magnus or
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
So they were playing that. So they really go outside the box.
They like to think
That's
small.
kind of
Yeah, down in.
Sorry, I had to get Jersey. I think Jersey had to get a kick out of it.
I just picture we talking about earlier in Hangover where the fucking what is that? Is that a mushroom? The monkey licks the little Asian guy's dick.
Oh my god. The Hangover.
So speaking of monkeys licking dick, they have the Archfiend of Depravity in the main board, 3 of them.
Wow.
Which is at the beginning of each opponent's up end step, that player chooses up to 2 target creatures or 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. 3 in the main board. That's.
I mean, that control part of having only allowing them 2 creatures. That's I found that interesting too. But I didn't really think I'd see top play. And that's kind of
3.
Yeah,
at that.
3. That's a lot. That's interesting.
Yeah, I would never guess 3. Really.
Just with that 4 booty on it, I feel like it's not. It's just gonna die a lot.
Stoked
A
for
lot.
dollar stands.
A lot.
all kinds of
Mizzy
shit.
and Mortars.
Yeah, Mizzy Mortar's that bitch.
I miss Mizzy and Mortars.
And that's all. It looks like all like the crazy shit. Let's take a look at the Sultai control that brought up the rear of the top 8.
And like the
Japan.
control removal game, they're mostly focusing on creatures and stuff, not wiping
control?
enchantments and.
Controls mainly control strategy is
In
pretty
these
much
guys,
Oh,
in these guys,
In these particular ones, they don't really care about like enchantments or artifacts, just because they aren't a prevalent part of the metagame at all right now. I mean, there are some like I don't even know if the green-black Constellation deck is still out there.
No.
But even though they're running a lot
don't
of...
say no like that because only 3 weeks ago there was a Constellation deck was running rampant at one of the tournaments. Maybe a month or plus.
But even then,
yeah, it's still-
they're
it's
still
a
all
thing.
creatures, even though they're enchantment creatures. So there's not a need for that right now. It looks like the Sultai control 2 unknown cards.
That's
Just
awkward.
2 don't
Couldn't
even
translate
know.
it from Japanese to
No.
internet.
Yeah.
So
I think they just slipped in some different cards.
They used the
Another
fucking
game.
what's that? The smoke pellets.
Yeah.
You don't know what these are. Run away.
so it looks like
Ninja that shit, motherfucker.
it looks
You can't
like
know my whole deck. No.
it looks like that Tasker deck that won.
Uh-huh.
What was the guy's name who piloted that deck? It was the first tournament right after Fate came out. It looks
crap. He's an SCG writer. What's that guy's name, Jace? Hot Sauce?
Seth Mountfield.
No.
I know what you're talking about right now.
The guy who won the first Fate Reforged tournament. The writer on SCG. He went the Sultai control deck. Sultai Walker deck.
Anyways, the
We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
I have no idea.
pretty much it looks like the same list. 2
Break it forward.
Taskers,
No,
2
I have no
Taskers
idea.
in the sideboard, Solemn Guard on the sideboard. Pretty much all the
It'll come to you.
main
No,
board
he's
stuff
the one who
is
knew
there.
more than me.
So that wraps it up for Japan. So let's move on over to Grand Prix Sevilla? Sevilla.
No.
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Sevilla. Sevilla.
You're so
Hey, man.
white.
Give me that quesadilla.
Yeah. There's no coming back from that. So,
I'm gonna
edit that right
Viva
out.
Yeah.
La Joya. The Jala.
yeah. So another blue-black controlled deck took this down. Nothing too crazy. It looks pretty much minus a few numbers here and there. It looks like the same list. 2 Ashioks, 2 Ugins. Silence Believers, 1 of in the main board. Counters, draw spells, 1 Pearl Lake Ancient. It's pretty much the same.
It looks like everyone comes to consensus if you're playing Ugin, you're only playing 2.
Yeah, I think 2 is like the max.
You don't want to. You probably don't want.
Imagine if you
You
had
probably
two.
don't want to see that in your
If
opening
you had
hand.
2 in
yeah.
your hand, I'd be like, oh my god. What
I-
am I
I
We
would
just
wanna
played
see
a
one
game
in
where I
every
had 2
hand.
in my hand. I had opening hand one. I was like, I don't want to keep this, but it's better than mulling a 6. And then I drew my other one in my deck. 4 turns in, I drew, and I'm like, well, this is not good.
Exactly.
You know what's crazy is a lot of control decks are running Radiant Fountain.
A ton of them, like all
Yeah.
of them, basically.
Enters
I
the
don't know,
battlefield,
but
you
that's
gain
not
2
crazy
life.
because if they're running Radiant Fountain with Pearl Lake Ancient, every time they use a kill spell for Pearl Lake Ancient, you bring Pearl Lake to your hand, you bring Radiant Fountains,
Right,
you
right.
keep gaining life because all you're trying to do is stabilize, and they keep hitting at you, they're trying to aggro this and that. That helps fend off the aggro
Yeah, I
part
agree-
of
I
it.
agree.
It's just
Bro,
funny
it's full
because, I mean, it makes sense, but it's just funny because when the card came out, it was like, I'm not even going to play this in Limited. Like, this card's a joke. But people are, like, making it work, so it just goes to show that, like, you know, people are really thinking outside the box and utilizing all the cards that come out of the set.
Control decks, like, it's a lot of the time when they go down to, like, 5 life.
Yeah, it's all
And they
about
don't even-
stabilizing.
it
They
doesn't even,
can
like, bother them
turn
a lot
that
of times.
corner, yeah, it's all
Yeah.
about stabilizing, turning it around.
Yeah, it was basically like the same thing in my mill deck. Like, you'd get me down to 5, and I wouldn't even be sweating
Yeah.
it. Like, it wouldn't even.
Yeah,
it wouldn't
control
even
decks,
bother
like, they know they're going to 5 life. That's,
Yeah.
like, what it's all about. So
Yeah,
to
that's-
make
that's
sure
the
they're not
plan.
going to 0, then that does it.
I think that Jim Davis plays that blue black control all the time, and he does a lot. Like they constantly talk about they'll have him in the feature match, and without the gained life total he would have had, he would have lost like several times. Like each game will gain a total of like something like 7 to 10 life based on Radiant Fountains and his tap lands and this and that. And without those, he'd lose those games. So he plays it so well and pilots it so well with that Pearl Lake and the Radiant Fountains that he wins because of Radiant Fountain, essentially,
Right.
when it comes down to it.
So looks like Abzan mid-range. There's like a lot of different flavors of Abzan mid-range, but I feel like we don't even have to talk about them anymore because, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's either Abzan midrange or Abzan aggro, which was a thing.
And
a
those
couple
things,
weeks ago.
those things also they build themselves.
Yeah.
The same thing. You only can play around with like 8 of those cards. Otherwise, you're going to be playing the same shit.
There was like a little bit more of an aggressive list that didn't play Caryatids I saw floating around, which was pretty cool.
That's the aggro lists.
Mhm.
They replace those. They get those and they replace them with the Warden of the First Tree.
Gotcha. So we
I
got
even see little Radical Mystics floating around instead of them, just because they can still attack.
Ah, interesting.
we got a Zorius heroic deck, blue-white heroic. Pretty much everything we've seen before.
Joe Lizette's been splashing red in there for a Teamer Battle Rage. Only red card in there is the double strike.
Yeah, there's
Teamer
some
Battle Rage.
article I was reading today, maybe even by him, that was just trying to like break that card.
Mhm.
You know, even in like the Jeskai aggro list and all that kind of stuff, or like the red-green aggro list, they're trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, he did an interview on it. He's really excited about it. He didn't actually have a very good tournament. I mean, usually he's one of the top SCG players and stuff, and he was doing okay, but then kind of fell out. I mean, he made second day, but he didn't come close to top 8. I don't believe. He lost a couple second day or whatever. But yeah, he was all about his excitement to it of like, oh, now they see me with the red. They're like, what the hell's going on? And they see the Teamer Battle Rage, and now they're going, what else? What other red cards do you have? But he only splashed into your Battle Rage to get that
Just psych
Stratus
him out.
Walk or Aqueous Form, big Hero of Iroas going at you that now gets double strike all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly. Which will like finish off games.
Yeah,
for sure.
for
You know what
sure.
I mean?
So let's go ahead and jump into some motherfucking noobs knowledge.
That was a little long.
Noobs knowledge.
Yeah. Noobs knowledge.
Knowing's half the battle.
So this
Knowledge is
week,
power.
so this
Now
week,
you know.
this week, I knew it, you cocksucker. You fucking dirty bitch. So this week we're going to be talking about a casual hit, an alternative win condition. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about milling.
Is that like when you take grain and you crush it up into flour?
Into
or
millstone.
some shit? Like wheat? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Is that
Produce
milk?
bread.
And then you trade it for goats
And then you
and cows.
Put it in
I
a,
don't do that because I just buy my bread at the supermarket.
Oh,
put,
that's
it,
fine.
put
Whatever.
it in a silo and stuff happens. No.
It's just a silo
bread
is for storage.
comes out.
Nothing happens in the silo. It's just for storage.
And then you get beef.
I'm sure at the bottom there's like a good
You've-
fermented.
You've never partied in a silo before?
The silo, I'm sure.
Hey.
So, milling is an alternative win condition where you don't have to worry about your opponent's life. You're just trying to get all the cards out of their library into their graveyard.
But why?
Because if a person were to draw a card and no cards are in their library, then they lose the game. Which is just wonderful.
Yeah, if you go to draw step and you can't draw anything, boop, you lose right there.
Just wonderful.
It is.
It is pretty fun when you actually mill somebody out. And that's
Yeah.
in my waste not deck, that's like plan B with Ashiox and just slowing them down on my board and I'll let them kill me, and then all of a sudden they have no cards left.
Exactly.
That was Knife's first big thing. He's milled me out
Yeah,
plenty of
this
times.
seems like such an unconventional way to win. Why don't more people do this?
Because it kind of blows big fat hairy cock.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
It's not reliable.
So milling is, they give it enough support to where it looks appealing. So Wizards puts out enough cards that mill to where, in certain sets, not in every set, to where it's kind of like tier 3 sort of thing, but it's never really, at least since we've been playing, it hasn't been like tier 1, top tier deck. But that was my first deck, was the Dimir. I got a Dimir intro pack. Gate Crash. And so that deck had, or the first version of that deck I had a lot of creatures that got bigger or something happened when they had so many cards in the graveyard.
Yeah, there's just that like one. It was a 1/1 for 2. It gets +1/+1 for each creature in all graveyards or opponent's graveyards or whatever it was.
And then there was that was White of Precinct 6. And then there was Jace's Phantasm, which got +4/+4 or plus
Yeah,
something
+4/+4.
plus something for if they have 10. If an opponent has 10 or more cards in their graveyard.
So it's a 1/1 for 1 that's a flyer, which 1/1 for 1 flyer is already like, whatever. Play it, whatever, play it or don't. But then it's a 5/5 flyer for 1 later in the game.
Yeah.
And not even that far late in the game.
Like turn 3.
Yeah, basically.
And so my initial couple builds of the deck were very creature heavy, But
Aberration?
yeah, the Consuming Aberration. It has it's a star. Its power and toughness are equal to all the cards in opponents' graveyards. And so I remember when I went to one of my local shops, this kid was helping me, build the deck, rebuild it. And he's like, I'll never forget what he said. He said, let's just try and make it like not fun for people to play against you. And I was like, done. That sounds great. I don't even care if I win, but if
So you
someone...
mean I get to be an angry dick here?
Yeah.
I'm in.
So if people are just frustrated to play against me, I've already won. So we put in like some fog banks, so
You
pretty
call
much
me an asshole.
pretty much couldn't attack in.
Did you have the what's that, Night Stalker or the
Invisible Stalker?
Invisible Stalker? What a
hexproof.
dickhair.
Yeah, hexproof,
And
unblockable.
unblockable. What
Oh, wow.
great combination is that?
That's fucked up.
Oh, it's only a 1/1 or a 2/2.
So I'd throw an enchantment whenever it did combat damage, mill like 3 cards or 2 cards or something like that.
Well, they had some that were like mill till you hit a land.
Yeah,
Shit
exactly.
like that,
So I had the Flyer, the Mirko Vosk, the Mind Drinker. Whenever it did combat damage, you mill. Target opponent mills until they hit
4 lands.
4 lands, which is devastating late game. But through, this was when we were just fucking around, doing kitchen table magic just for fun skis. And I quickly learned that I needed to go a more controlling route. Far less creatures, fuckloads more control. So I think I'm not an expert on all formats of mill, but I think that's kind of what you want to be doing. Regardless of the format, is just kind of like the blue-black control. It's blue-black control, but the win condition is milling. So let's take a look at my list from last standard season. I have 7 creatures, and so I have 2 Mirko Vosk, the Mind Drinker. He's a 5-drop. I had 2 Consuming Aberrations, 5-drop, and then I had 2 Archaeomancers, which bring back a sorcery or instant card from my graveyard, because I have a lot of those. And I also had 1 Lifebane Zombie, just because of the metagame at that time. I got to exile a green or white creature from target opponent's hand.
And then it has Intimidate, so if you're going against a green-red deck, which you were a lot with Ryke, then you were able to swing in for 3.
Yeah, there was those brief times where I could at least keep their side of the board pretty clean, and then, every once in a while I'd actually get them down to 20 from just that 1 card, but that wasn't exactly the plan. So, for instance, I had 4 Devour Flesh. The target player sacrifices a creature, then gains life equal to that creature's toughness. Well, I don't give a fuck what your life total is, so go ahead and gain all the life you want.
But you want to keep pressure off.
Yeah, exactly. Keep that early pressure off. If I could... There was 2 cards I wanted in my opening hand and enough mana to cast them, which was Devouring Flesh, or my next 4 of, which was Essence Scatter, counter target creature spell. So basically, if you could cast it, I'm going to kill it, and if you're trying to cast it, I'm going to counter it. I also had 4 Heroes Downfalls, just very efficient removal for the metagame at that time. And then
Still pretty good.
yeah, still great. And then so that was like my early game. I also had Ashiok, which was nice just to be able to, it's not really milling, but it helps get cards out of their library. And then if I happen to jack. Well, it's the definition of milling is putting cards from the library straight into the graveyard where Ashiok exiles them. but it helped get cards out of their library, and if I were able to get one of their creatures out of it to help block and prolong the game, then that was just awesome.
Yeah, longer the better, exactly. Get Ashiok big enough where even if it did get attacked, it wouldn't be dead. Get like 11 loyalty counters or whatever, and then, take off a few when you could to get that chump blocker or whatever else. Could be like a big, get a big old dummy from their opponent's library.
Exactly. And oddly enough, Ashiok worked really... If I could stick an Ashiok and tick it up against like a control matchup, that -10 was pretty relevant because of Sphinx's Revelation at the time. They were always having cards in their hand. And so if I could just exile all the cards from their hand and their graveyard, then that was really just icing on the cake at that point. And of course, I had 3 Jace Memory Adept, which is the Mill Jace, the 5-drop.
This is the beast for sure.
This was the
win con, basically.
The workhorse of the deck. So it was 5-drop, 4 loyalty planeswalker. The +1 is draw a card, target player mills a card. I rarely gave a shit about that unless I was about to die. But the 0 ability was target player mills 10. So that's pretty fucking hefty.
Yeah, if you keep it alive, if you can chump block and just keep that thing at any loyalty counter at all, you just keep zeroing it, and the player has like 4 or 5 turns after that.
Yeah, it's a very quick clock.
Yeah, and if it comes late game, then they probably have like 2 or 3 turns after that. They have to deal with that planeswalker right then and there, or they lose.
Right. And then I also had 1 Liliana of the Dark Realms, which I put in way later, kind of towards the end of the deck, which I kept it in there just because late game it got like the lands out of my library, and it could be a kill spell if I needed it to be. And it was just funny when people would attack it, and I'm just like, it's fine. That's keeping the life on me, and I could give a fuck if Liliana lives or dies. I also had 4 Pilfered Plans, which I think I changed the number to 3 or something like that. But basically, I draw 2 and you mill 2. So just getting the mill engine going, and I had 4 Thoughtseize.
Half the time when I'm playing my Ashiok, depending on how my board state's going, I use it in the sense like I'll throw it out there if I'm behind on the board. I'll put it on the board just to scare him with my Planeswalker sitting there, so they'll attack him and leave my life alone.
Yeah, and his life, the loyalty counters go up so fast because it's +2. It's like a pain in the ass to kill if you don't have just direct removal.
Yeah, so
it's huge value.
If you have like a 2 or 3 drop out and they're going to attack Ashiok, it's not gonna kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Kill them off so you can keep +2ing. And I'm trying to look for the enchantment that I threw in. I didn't even know this card existed, but basically it was a 4-drop, and it was an enchant creature, and I enchant my opponent's creature. And then if they want to get the creature back...
Well, you enchant it and it steals the creature.
Yeah, so I enchant your creature and I steal it. And then if you want to get it back, you have to discard 2 cards out of your hand, and I get to draw 2 cards. So that was perfect for my turn 4, because like my 4-drop slot was... I wasn't really doing much, and I feel like... I could steal their 4-drop, which 4 was getting up there, in the hefty creatures. And even if they did get it back, at least it got shit out of their hand, and I got to draw into some more cards.
Yeah, I wish I had that right now for a Wasteland deck. That sounds pretty
nice.
sweet.
And I did play it in my Wasteland deck during that 3-month grace period, and it did a lot of work. Also had, just because going up against, there was a lot of control at the time, so I had some Dispels and Negates in the sideboard, some Notion Thieves, which I draw cards that opponent draws that's not their draw step, which was awesome.
Yeah, if they draw additional cards this turn, you draw them instead.
Yeah, and Pithing Needle, because during that meta, Pithing Needle was just the ultimate sideboard card. So there's a couple different ways I could win. Basically, it was milling, and getting your life total down was my alternate win condition. So if I had a fat consuming aberration, I had a Rogue's Passage, part of my lands, which makes target creature unblockable, and I could just swing in for
you pay
25.
Pay 4 colorless, tap Rogue's Passage, and then target creature gets unblockable till the turn. And so, yeah, it would... the aberration thing was like... It was always a 20-20 or whatever. It was like a one-swing kill at basically all times. But it has no evasion other than that card. So it was a great blocker, but you're not going to be able to win with that card. It doesn't matter if you have a fucking million creature if it has no other things like trample or flying or any other evasion, like it's very easy to block. But this would just make it like, oh, he has 5 open mana. Oh, I lose.
Yeah, and so what would happen if they had a flyer and I didn't? Let's say they have a 5/5 flyer. I have 5 health left, and I have Consuming Aberration on the board. It's their turn. I can't fucking block a flyer. I would devour flesh my own Consuming Aberration, gain 25 life, and or a Crypt Incursion. People would mostly just concede after I Crypt Incursioned, which was exile all creature cards from target player's graveyard. You gain 3 life for each card exiled this way.
Yeah, they had 30 cards in the graveyard, and like half of those, it's 15 times 3, 45 of life. You just get to gain right there. And it allows you to go ahead and just go off with your strategy, mill strategy, while like, oh yeah, fine, just go ahead and keep kicking my life away. I don't care.
That fucking card was such an asshole against my deck because I had all creatures in my deck.
Yeah, and then you're excited. You get your opponent down to the mill player down to 5 health. And you're playing on your next turn. I'm like, oh, I can win next turn. And then so you attack, you swing in Alpha Strike, you swing in for game. And he goes, okay, no blocks, but I will play this. And then they go up 35 health, and then you hit him for the fucking 9 that you were planning on doing, and you're back to normal.
It was at this time playing against him. I had that Extort deck, and I was just like, screw Knife, and I bought 4 foil Crypt Incursion, and put it, I was like, he's not getting the life. I'm getting the life. Exile my own shit and get life.
So, I mean, that's like the strategy of this deck is to go long game because there's no, like, aggro mill. You know what I mean? You can't just, like, mill them out in 4 turns. It's a very, like, usually a lot of the good mill cards are more expensive, or you kind of have to,
It's a long term.
There's a lot of triggers and stuff like that where you can't just do it all in one turn, like Alpha Strike with an aggro deck. Or
Alpha Mill.
Like Alpha Mill. So
it's like making it rain.
Right? Yeah, right into their graveyard. So I think that's the strategy.
Bills, y'all.
What about the like modern cards?
So modern cards, I'm looking into building a modern mill deck. And so
for tiny leaders, all right.
Well, I'm looking to build a tiny. I've already bought the cards. This was the first thing I did with my tax returns. $120 later, I have a tiny leaders mill deck, which is in the mail. So modern mill is not very good once again, but so it's a casual hit, meaning people who just come into Magic. Okay, the point of the game is to get your life down to 0. And then, they find out about this alternative win condition, and dicks like me go, oh, that'll frustrate you. I want to do that. And so a lot of the mill cards are, like, super fucking expensive. So, let's see here. Glimpse the Unthinkable. Where are you? If you will look up this card on any of your card pricing websites, this card is probably anywhere from $20 to $25. For a single one. So once again, the card is called Glimpse the Unthinkable. I'm trying to buy time while I find it. For a single blue-black. It's a sorcery. Target player puts the top 10 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Probably the most powerful and cheapest mill spell there is.
And then you can probably bring it back with like Archaeomancer or whatever.
Archaeomancer or
play it again.
There's Snapcaster. Snapcaster makes flashback?
Basically, allows you to flashback cards in your graveyard.
And like a lot of these cards are just super expensive, and it's not a viable thing because people are trying. People are trying to go off with their combos, and so it doesn't matter. Like, because when you mill, it's not really like so what you mill their bomb. It's almost just like shuffling their deck. Like they can care what goes in their graveyard because it's just almost reorganizing their deck. You know what I mean? So what do they care if you essentially shuffle their deck? I can't tell you how many times, like, all they need is a creature, and I mill away the top 10 cards, they're all lands. So if I would have just not done that, they would have been fucked for the next 10 turns. But that's how the deck is. It's basically just, for them, you might as well just be shuffling their deck.
It is sad, though, when you start getting milled, like we were just doing the night with Samhain Crow. He was milling me with the Ashiok, And then in both of my banishing lights, which was like my response to Ashiok, went into the exile.
It's like my favorite thing to watch their removal from my Ashiok go in the graveyard. It's like, that's fantastic.
You're just about to try that now.
You suck.
One of the other big problems
Try some more.
is like Ashiok. In this instance, I'm playing a Manifest deck. It's like just this tier 3 like little fun deck I built, and but I did take some like decent amount of time to build it. So I tried to make it as good as I could. Just going in this like strategy that's not viable in a tournament. Anyways, he would take the top 3 cards. One of them would be Whisperwood Elemental,
which, by the way, is my favorite and best creature I've ever exiled with Ashiok to actually play. I typically don't play a lot of creatures off my Ashiok mills, but Whisperwood Elemental, if you play Ashiok and you take one of him, play him.
Yeah, so you take that, and he plays it, right? He goes down, plays it. So it's 4/4 body, which is very good. Secondly, the deck is meant to disrupt me, so I'm not able to respond to Whisperwood Elemental. I'm not able to just he's not going to block with it, unless he knows for sure, I'm tapped out or something like that. It's just going to sit there and make 2/2s all day long. And I'm like, this is such a pain in the butt that I have to deal with this my creature getting taken, and he just keeps.
So now you're facing a mirror match of your own deck, essentially, but now I still get to do what I want to do to you.
Every turn he gets a 2/2, and I'm like, well, now he's going just as wide as I am. I'm not able to actually alpha strike at all because he has this pain in the ass card that I don't have. I'm not in the colors to just remove it. So it was just it's just a pain in my ass.
It was awesome
when he had that out, man. It's such a pain.
So from there, he's able to mill you out with Ashiok.
Yeah, he milled me out. He went as wide as I did. I was never able to get in profitably, and he stayed at 9 health for ever, and I'm like, this just sucks.
I got a Lily on the board, protected her, got her to the ultimated her, took 5 creatures from his graveyard, and my 1 Master's Piece out of my graveyard, and said, now I'm really wide, and you have 6 cards in hand? Oh, wait a minute. I have Ashiok on the board, plus 2 Ashiok there, play my second Ashiok from my hand, mill you out entirely.
Yeah, I had 6 cards in the library, so you milled 3, played the next one, milled 3 again, I was down to 0. I'm like, oh, that's the game. Yeah, it was some cards that, just if they're really good blockers, like Solongar. It's a really good blocker. I can't get around him. I have to go really wide because I know something of mine's going to die, or it's just going to get blocked. Because he has a 7 toughness on him. So I'm like, I have to make sure I have 3 creatures more than him to even swing in once, because I'm going to lose 1 or 2 of those on his blocks, and it's just a pain, absolute pain. Same thing with your discard deck. He has the Knife has the O2 that whenever damage is dealt to it, it makes that many 1/1 flyers.
Oh,
1/1 touch flyers.
Hornet's Nest.
Hornet's Nest. So same thing. It's that just stonewalls you, and he has these planeswalkers just keep ticking up, keep doing what he wants, and I can't attack in because unless if I do attack, I have to make sure it's 4 game. I have to go really wide or kill that thing before I can actually go attack in. These control strategies just have these ways of getting creatures or creatures themselves that just stop the attack and just give them the extra 5 turns they need to just blow me out of the water.
That's how my waste now. I get the zombies out there to slow you down when you start getting off. Just dark deal your hand, take 3 zombies out of it, or if I have more than 1 waste on the board, all of a sudden I'm white as you are.
He's going white. He's not even attacking with 2/2s. He's just hey, look at all my blockers.
Look at my defense.
Look at this. I gotta just keep going with my planeswalkers.
Until I find Ugin or mill you out.
It's definitely a dirtle strategy, whether it's discard or mill, where you're just trying to get to the long game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's no aggro, discard, aggro, mill. So you need to find these ways to make the game go long. I've noticed some of the mill decks for Modern, I've been looking at the list, and they all have Hedron Crab, which is a 1-drop. It's an O2, and it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, target opponent mills the top 2, I think. And it's just a little chump blocker or defender against a 1
token, whatever,
1/1 or something. But this card I think is hilarious. It's called Archive Trap for 3 blue. If an opponent searched his or her library this turn, you may pay 0 rather than pay Archive Trap's mana cost, and it's instant. Target opponent puts the top 13 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So if you have this in your opening hand in Modern, everyone plays fetch lands in Modern, so they're gonna go searching for their fucking land, and you're gonna fucking mill the top 13 cards, which for free. You have to pay.
If you you have to put the card in your graveyard. It's out of your hand, but
I just mean you have to have the card in your deck, so there is a cost of card space in your deck. But other than that, the mana cost 0.
How much is that card?
Well, but even then, you're planning on going late game anyway, so it still can be viable late.
Right.
This card's like $4. Okay.
Yeah, this card's not too shabby. I have a feeling it's going to go up just because, like, with Glimpse the Unthinkable and all these other mill cards, they're slowly going up because casual people who don't care about
Who want to be angry dickheads.
Yeah, who don't care about rules or formats or anything, they're buying these cards up. And so I need to get them soon. But that's after I've spent all my money on Tiny Leaders and Commander, I think I'm going to try and pick up a modern mill deck. Just to have fun with, not go to any fucking tournaments or anything. But it does help.
Put the pressure on us to build a modern deck to play against.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it'll ignite the spark. But I think Mill is in a slightly better position because of the bannings in Modern. So now Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise are not legal. So, milling somebody and then them paying 1 blue on turn, 3 to draw 3 cards, that's pretty fucking shitty. So, Mill is fun. It's slightly viable. I had a lot of success with it on MTGO. But if you don't get the draws, then you're fucked. It's really draw dependent. I think no matter what build you have.
You really got to stop those first 5 turns on your opponent or whatever to get there.
Like I took it to, me and Quickness went to a PTQ, and I just went fucking XO. I ended up dropping because I was just so...
OX, right?
OX.
X.
OX.
Yes.
OX.
Kisses and hugs. So, yeah, I did not win a single game. I was able to... Well, I won 1 actual game, no matches. But I was able to swing in for $1 million with my Consuming Aberration. But all the rest of the games, the draws weren't there. Went up against some control matches, which was my worst matchup. And then, other games I didn't get the removal or counters in time, and they just took it away. So
talking about Mill, I don't really have the space in my Wasteland deck because I already need more removal situations or counters or what have you. But if I were to attempt to bolster my plan B of just dirtling the board and milling you out with Ashiok, is there any cards in Standard that you would suggest looking at?
Well, first of all, so since Mill is just not a viable plan A, it is a horrible plan B. Meaning that if you're playing a Mill deck, whether it's constructed or limited, you need to be like all in on Mill. A lot of people have this idea more in like draft or sealed, where I guess I'll just throw a couple Mill cards in here, just in case it goes late game, and it's like no, those are dead draws, basically, to you. Mm-hmm. Once again, you might as well just be shuffling your opponent's deck.
I hear what you're saying, but in the sense of, like, I get the overall concept, and I agree with you. Right. You can't just, like, plan B's mill.
Right.
But with how my Wasteland deck's been working, I actually do win many games against Hot Sauce and many games on Moto with plan B, C being Ashiok, control my board, and mill you out. Right. And that's without any support to Ashiok. And it happens enough that it makes me consider throwing something in there that would help him, like maybe a simple artifact at each turn I can tap and mill him for 2.
Right.
I don't think it's good enough, and I don't think I have space for it.
What about the God?
But
you have the 5/5 flyer out there that you're only using to block. At your opponent's end step, you can just tap it and can you tap himself? Well, if he's a creature?
I believe so.
He'll never be a creature.
Well, you still have, like Ashiok.
So he's talking about Phoenix, the god.
Yeah, Ashiok's 2 devotion, Phoenix 2 devotion, Flyer's 2 devotion.
You have after the 7.
And then your Liliana's 1 devotion, or 2 devotion, right? Yeah.
She's 2 devotion.
2 devotion. Yeah. Once again, I don't think it's really a good option, but if it's something to try, you do have Booty Flyers, and then Solemnguard's a 7, and that thing's 2 devotion too. Mm-hmm. So that might be something you have 1 in there, and maybe it comes out. I can't get rid of it.
I like the idea of. That's still so rare. I really barely play creatures, and that devotion it really isn't a thing. I'll mostly get zombies out there from Waste Not more than I'll ever get 7 devotion.
Well, you can still tap the zombies and do 2 cards.
Well, I think the Phoenix route. That's like a very dedicated deck where you need to fill it up with defenders and control. Mm-hmm. Where if you I think the milling with Ashiok is not a product of Ashiok getting cards out. It's more like you're already going to the late game, and your Dark Deal's getting cards out of their hand, and they're drawing more cards.
Agreed.
And then so let's say you get 12, 15 cards, 18 cards, whatever, with Ashiok. Still, that's only that many cards, so it's not the winning the game through milling isn't a product, so to speak, of Ashiok. It's going late game, which your deck is built because you're a controlling deck. So it's a product of the control, not necessarily Ashiok.
Those are smart words there, buddy.
But if you did want to go that route and just kind of throw it in there just to piss us off, which I encourage, I implore you to do. Piss me off. It'll be great. I'll high five you at the end. Take out maybe even some creatures or something.
I already have very little creatures. I mean, I only just added 2 Taskers. Other than that, I was only playing Solumgar. And 3 Master of the Feast to refill their hand to make them discard for my response.
Right. So it would probably only be like a 1 of tops 2 of.
I'm thinking 1 at the max.
So a 1 of.
In place of a Tasker, probably.
Yeah, in place of a Tasker, or something like that, because I feel like everything else in your deck, from what I've seen, is very controlling, and so that's half of a mill strategy. So there are things like. So I think not Grindstone, but there's that one Grind Clock where you can put counters on it, and then you tap it to put a counter on it, and then there's a second tap ability, which is tap it to mill.
Total counters on it makes them mill that many cards.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the artifact I was thinking
I've seen
of.
that in sideboards on control versus control.
Yeah, so if you're already going late game, if you get that down early, while you're just dicking around, you can put counters on it, and while you're, going away with Ashiok towards the end of the game, you get, I forget, there's a sweet spot in the counters. I forget if it's 4 or 5.
I think it's like 5 or 6, actually.
They did the math on it, and there's a point where it's pretty much useless to put more counters on it, and you just want to start tapping it to mill. So let's say it's 5. So you can, as you're going late game, you can get to 5 and then just start milling them that way.
So there was one match I saw where it was blue-black versus blue-black, right? The guy had the mill, whatever, the grindstone, grind clock, grind ass, I have no idea.
Grindhouse.
It was...
and blue and black does not have artifact destruction.
Right. So you have that. What he did is he had it up to like the magic number of 5 or 6, whatever it was, and the opponent was getting down pretty low, and it was still, once again, it was just kind of going back and forth, and each life total was at like 10 or whatever. And the opponent went to dig through time, and then he's like, all right, how many cards do you have in your graveyard? He had I think 11. And so he's like, all right, well, let me tap this. He milled 6, and then his dig through time only searched for 4 cards or 5 cards.
So he milled himself by the
So yeah, well, he picks them up, and then he puts the other 2 back or whatever it was. And so it made his dig through time that much worse. Even though he could have just, he was always doing it on the opponent's end step. He's like, no, wait, it's better to do it now, right? Because then you're going to have less to choose from. So he milled that, got that. He picked up his remaining 4 cards that are looked at him. He was like, all right, I guess that's it. It was kind of cool, just taking away the option that could have.
That really is the exact card I was thinking about. Phoenix, I think, I get zombies from Waste Not, but not always. And I don't have enough creatures other than that to rely on making my creatures attack. Otherwise, he's just completely dead.
Yeah,
itself, I think, costs 2 to play, and that's something that I can get early game and just get ready by turn 5 or whatever, turn 6, and start milling them.
Because with the zombie plan, you're already dependent. You're dependent on too many things. Because first of all, you have to have creatures, and to have those creatures, you have to have Waste Not, and and to get the zombies, you have to discard it with Waste Not out, and then you have to have Phoenix. So it's
that's why I don't think
too many variables.
I won't be
I'd do it.
So just,
totally me. That's a good idea. Let's do it.
So just with the artifact, and I'm sure there's other little cards. And one funny thing I was thinking is to put Altar of the Brood in your tokens deck, because whenever a permanent hits the board, the target opponent mills 1 card. So if you're just bringing out all these tokens and lands and just all this shit, and then they're just having a mill, I just think that'd be really funny.
Altar of the Brood.
Yeah. But, that's it for milling. It's definitely my pet deck, whatever format I'm playing. If it's viable, I am playing it. Right now in Standard, when the MTGO beta was up, I fucked around with the Phoenix mill deck, and it just, even with the help of Fate Reforged, there still wasn't enough for it to be even like fun for me to play, you know. But when I did, you know, it was basically build your own Jace where I mill 10 every turn or 15 or whatever. But wherever there's a mill deck, I will be there playing it and pissing you guys off.
Perfect.
All right, so now you guys can shut up and we can play Magic, right?
Actually, that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get down on some fucking mini-mander, some standard, maybe some commander if we had the fucking decks. Ryke's just going to go home and go to sleep.
I'm going to bed.
Oh, wait a minute.
I think he was asleep.
You're actually staying tonight to play?
I don't have work tomorrow.
Oh, buddy.
So fucking everyone take your pants off.
All right,
it's
shut
time
up.
to play some
My
Magic.
pants have been off for the last 2 hours.
Everybody shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta end this cast now.
Everybody shut up. I need to play Magic.
That's how I feel every day, by the way.
Yeah?
Not the shut up part, because I'm down for talking while playing.
No. The shut up part's good though for everybody.
Shut up, wife. I need to play Magic.
So when you're like sitting at home, do you like see like a deck box with wings and you're chasing it and you almost grab it but it keeps flying away?
Well,
No,
and then you're
that's
just
gay.
chasing the
Well, no, I have
deck.
I have Moto now, so I mean, even though it crashes and I all get issues, now you guys aren't available. At least I can get it fixed.
No, I'm like,
Fantastic.
God, I can't wait till podcast night so I can play some Magic.
I can't wait till podcast night so I can make fun of them and then play Magic afterwards. Anyways, that's been it for episode 27 of If Lands Could Kill.
We're fucking getting up there real quick.
Woo! I'm Knifecity,
This is right.
Samhain Crow.
Hot sauce.
Peppermint Swirl.
and we'll catch you guys later.
So back in the day, there was I went to lunch with a friend of mine, and he's like a total jackass. He's like one that gets you have great stories with him, but otherwise you just kind of hate him because he's so ridiculous. And we went to
Like David.
Okay, good. This
Same
guy,
guy, honestly.
this is Drew.
No, really? That is?
So Drew goes to the bathroom while we're at this like barbecue place, me and him, and he comes out and he's wearing one of those fucking gasket seat covers on his head, like around his neck, like a fucking bib, and then in front of a whole restaurant he shouts, "Dude, they got bibs in there!" and then he comes and sits down with me to have lunch, and he's got a fucking toilet seat cover, and everyone's staring at him. And you just face down in your fucking hat, like, oh my god, dude. This is not. We weren't even in like the fucking.
This is Ruth Chris.
Yeah. And he just sits down and just like goes about his business. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
And he has good ideas.
Another breed.
Yeah, he really
Another
is.
breed.
Yeah, he's on another level.
He's like if Jersey was funny.